Yo guys, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? We're here, we're live, we're live, man. So this has been a long time coming and hopefully this is something that we can maybe do at a weekly basis and so forth, where we're just talking about all things comic book movies with regards to Marvel, DC, maybe touch upon anime and so forth. But I think, basically me and Rebirth, we've been having a back and forth, and I think, I have I've given my very, very strong emotional thoughts on Justice League, Zack Snyder, the Snyder Cut, Batman v Superman, and so forth. So, and Rebirth said, look, you're looking at this wrong, so I'm willing to have an open conversation and an open debate about it. I don't think it's going to change my view. I don't think anybody will change my view, but let's have an open conversation about it. So we're going to talk about that, the states of Justice League, what happened there, and Snyder. Then we're going to perhaps jump into Marvel and about X-Men and casting the X-Men and why we think that X-Men is going to be very important for Marvel to sort of exist in the kind of post Captain America, post Iron Man era. Then we're going to jump into anime and just talk about what do we consider the best anime film. So maybe some of you guys in the live chats can recommend some stuff to us. Rebirth will recommend some stuff. I recommend some stuff as well, and we'll give an argument as to the best anime films that we've seen, and then we'll then have a nice little discussion about that. So without further ado, man, let's get down to it, man. So Justice League, the Snyder Cut. So before we even get to Justice League, I think we have to start at the very beginning. And I think if we start at the very beginning, I think it is only fair that we start with Batman v Superman.
Oh, not Man of Steel?
What are they?
Not Man of Steel, Batman v Superman?
You know what? You're right. I think if we're fair, we go to Man of Steel. So, Man of Steel. So when Snyder was brought in for Man of Steel, I was like, because I was never a fan of 300. But so when Snyder was hired, I was like, man, he's a good visualist, but I don't know how good he is as a filmmaker. Then I remember the first image of Superman that they showed, where he was, I think, like in a bank thing or something. So it was sort of like drawn or something. And the first thing that I noticed when me and my brother saw that image was, oh my gosh, the suit looks really good. Because if you remember the Superman Return suit with Brandon Routh, it was awful. Because he looked like a Boy Scout, the neck thing was too high and it just looked awful. So the key thing was that, wow, the suit looks amazing. Now, I'd never seen any Henry Cavill films. So I really wasn't sold on what Henry Cavill was about and everything. But I was like, okay, look, it's an unknown, but the suit looks good. But I was still unsure about Snyder. Then the trailer came out, and that's when you heard the score by Hans Zimmer. That, for me, is one of the best soundtracks to any film I've ever heard. It's an absolutely incredible soundtrack. Like the main track, because obviously I have like a playlist, and I have like playlists of like orchestral music, and that track is still like on my most played playlist stuff. So I was like, wow, and just the way the soundtrack went with the thing, I was like, wow, this looks amazing. Man of Steel. The first 50 minutes of Man of Steel, so all the bits that were on Krypton, freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely superb. The Krypton stuff was amazing. The effects, the story, the pacing, how things were shot, it was amazing. Then once you left Krypton, that's when everything just fell downhill. Because my issue with Man of Steel was it began, then it just ended. There was no middle. There was nothing really in the middle. So I came here from Man of Steel saying that's okay. Did I really see a film? Did I really see something that had like a strong narrative? Was a story told? And the issue was like, no, not really. Like there really wasn't a story that was told there. So I just sort of felt a bit lost into what Man of Steel was trying to tell me. So for me, it was very disappointing because I had very high hopes for it. So we then go to Batman v Superman.
Yikes.
You see, Batman v Superman, off the bat, the issue was, where is Superman's sequel? Where is the introductory Batman film? How are you going to a Batman v Superman film without a sequel to Man of Steel and without Batman having his first film? That didn't make any sense to me. The other thing as well was that I've always said the notion of Batman v Superman is stupid. Ever since Frank Miller did that in Dark Knight Returns, animated Superman defeats Batman, Batman fans have always had this crazy concept that you can beat a literal god, which is stupid.
Right.
Unless you have kryptonite, Batman is getting lubricated 5 times over by freaking Superman.
Yeah.
So, Batman v Superman, I don't even know where to begin with this film because this film is horrendous. Because I watched it with my brother. Because I think we came back from Christmas and we watched it in the cinema together. And from the pacing, Lex Luthor, the casting of Ben Affleck, and I've always said that Ben Affleck, I just think is just trash. I've never been a fan of Ben Affleck.
Subjective.
So, okay, we're getting there. So all that stuff, it was just the film was a complete and utter mess, just total mess. The thing that's pissed me off the most, Superman Lives. So remember when I say Superman Lives, you're like, wait, what do you mean by Superman Lives? Tim Burton was supposed to make his Superman film, I think either in 95 or 97, called Superman Lives. And that was supposed to take inspiration from the death of Superman. And that was supposed to tell the story arc of Doomsday, where he gets killed by Doomsday, and he then resurrects with the black outfit. So that was supposed to be like the massive epic film where, he fights Doomsday. Doomsday kills him, the whole world war mourns and everything. And then there's a whole story of him coming back with long hair in the black outfits and so forth. There's like an amazing kind of like documentary about it, which is amazing. So, but the issue was you shoved in the story of Doomsday, which I think is Superman's greatest story, into a Batman v Superman. So it was Batman v Superman, it was Doomsday, and it was Justice League all in one. That's too much. You have to choose one story. Are you telling a Justice League story? Are you telling a Batman v Superman story? Or are you telling a Doomsday story? You can't tell 3, 4, 5 stories at once. So for me, it was just a complete, total mess. So then comes Justice League. I get it. It wasn't his film.
It wasn't, yeah.
100% it wasn't his film. Like for me, Joss Whedon and so forth, he tried to do the best he could, but it was always a bad situation. You can't get another director with a different vision and different sensibilities to come and do someone else's film. I get that. The seeds have already been sown. In my view, Ben Affleck is a crap actor. So therefore, his Batman is crap. And let me say this right now. This is key for everyone to listen to. The best thing about Ben Affleck's Batman is the suit, which is a concept that Snyder came up with because he got that from Jim Lee's Hush. So that was from Jim Lee's Hush comics. So it's the suits and the fighting. The fighting is Snyder's fight choreography and the direction of the fight. And the suits was Snyder's idea. Because obviously, someone else designed the suits, but Snyder came up with the idea that, no, I want to go grey and use Jim Lee as an inspiration. That's the best thing. But Ben Affleck, nothing that Ben Affleck does makes that Batman amazing. So that's the first thing there. I've said this before, and people can say this again. I was just watching right now. I was watching Angry Joe do his review of Wonder Woman. I was actually watching it again. Wonder Woman 1984. Gal Gadot is a horrible actress. She's fucking garbage. I'll say she is a horrible, terrible actress. Pretty face. Yeah. Great to look at and so forth. Really, very pretty face. Horrible. And see, the thing for me is that I used to do acting, and I went to acting school, and I wanted to be an actor. So really, acting was my thing. I made films and so forth. Studied about scripts and everything. So when I watch films, I look at acting very particularly. So for me, you being super attractive will never divert me from me critiquing your acting. So Rebirth. Even if Snyder, because I know what Snyder, I know what he does.
Yeah, you know what.
Of course, it's going to visually look better. Of course, he's going to have some dynamic scenes, some dynamic, great-looking scenes. I know that there's going to be some scenes that if you freeze the frame, it will look beautiful to look at. Gal Gadot is still acting in the film. Ben Affleck is still acting in the film, and from the piece of crap that was Batman v Superman to this. Where are we going here? So for me, for all these guys talking about this freaking Snyder cut and so forth and everything, what I say to them is that who directed Batman v Superman? Who do I say the
Zack Snyder.
Man of Steel was? Let's keep it real, guys. If Man of Steel was, because remember, this is Superman. Like, arguably one of the most famous, because people say, oh, the notion is that, oh, no, the world isn't ready for a Superman anymore. We've moved on from a Superman. That's a lie. Because,
Yeah, that's not true. Yeah.
Rebirth, Captain America, that's Superman. And people love Captain America. Captain America is literally Superman. Like, one of my favorite films of the last 10 years is Captain America, the First Avenger. That's one of my favorite films of all time. And that's pretty much Superman. So, I've talked. So, Rebirth, please, I'm begging you, sell me as to why I should give a crap about Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut and how this could actually differ from freaking BVS and Man of Steel.
Okay, so let's start from the top. Okay, so because you said a lot of things, so let's start from the top. You calling Gal Gadot a bad actress, it's subjective. I agree with you on that. Calling Ben Affleck a bad actor, it's also subjective. That I don't agree with you. But like, just to set that groundwork, when it comes to acting as an art form, it's subjective. And this is just to prove that your opinion on Gal Gadot I agree with, but on Ben Affleck I don't. If you go back to Man of Steel, first we have to look at why Zack Snyder was hired. So Marvel it's 2000 and well, it was probably before that, but Avengers, the first one, came out in 2012. So, and that made $1 billion, I believe. So we're coming off like a massive success of Marvel. DC's looking for an answer. Nolan has done he's done with his trilogy. So we need someone to come up with an idea for DC to go up against Marvel. Now, Zack Snyder, from the start, like he's never shied away from saying this. He came up with a 5-movie plan. It was 5 movies. It was always 5 movies. As in, like my plan to you, I got 5 movies. I'll make up 5 movies for you, and from these 5 movies, you can break it off and do everything. So it's not like Kevin Feige, where Kevin Feige might be going from, okay, this is like the Infinity Saga, where we're going step back. He says, I just have 5. I'm only going to do 5. And then from these 5, you can branch off and do your own thing. That's Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League 1, 2, and 3. He says, this is my plan. And then, coming off from BVS, introducing Wonder Woman and Batman, you can go do your thing. Cyborg and Flash, go do your thing. But for me, I'm focused on this one central storyline, and you can go and do your movies, on the side. I only care about these 5. So we start from Man of Steel. Your take on Man of Steel, like a lot of points, like the Krypton opening, amazing. Like Zack Snyder shines in these like mythical, outworldly, like he's really, really good at that. You made a comment that it started and it just ended, and so for me, my personal interpretation, because it's subjective, but in my personal opinion, the middle of the movie, from the beginning of the movie, you get a view of Krypton as a nation, as a country, as a planet that's dying. And Jor-El, wait, is that his name? Yeah, Superman's father. Jor-El. Yeah, they established that they've created this codex which predetermines what you're going to be before you're even born. So now it's like they're coming up with this idea of free will, as in this is a society that determines what you'll be before you are it. And so he comes with the codex, he gives it to his son, and he ships his son off, saying you will be a god to these people. So to me, that's the established theme. Free will, the idea to do what it is that you want to do. And they send him off to planet Earth. He gets his earthly father, Pa Kent. There's an actually very interesting scene where Jor-El is sending Clark to go to Earth to be a god to them. So his Krypton father is sending him off to be a god to the humans, but his earthly father is like, no, stay hidden. The world isn't ready for you. So right now, for me, when I'm watching the movie, Zack Snyder has put Superman in the middle. He's got 2 fathers, and the 2 fathers' ideologies are clashing. One says, no, stay hidden. The world doesn't deserve you. The other says, no, you are to be the beacon to the world. And that's what the entire middle movie is. Because when Zod comes in, he's only interested about preserving, remaking Krypton so he can find a way to, make Krypton live on Earth. That's all he's concerned about. So for me, it's like Superman is having to, walk the path of deciding whether he wants to do what his father wants him to do, earthly father, which is to stay hidden, or do what his Krypton father wants him to do, which is to become the beacon of hope to the human race. He chooses to become the beacon of hope to the human race, and you see what happens in the whole battle. And so to me, that's the bulk of the middle movie, trying to find out what kind of man he wants to be. And I appreciate the scenes where he goes to the church, because Zod puts out the like he talks to the entire nation that there's someone among you, hand them over or there'll be consequences, whatever. He goes to a church to speak to a priest, because like this is Superman made human. He doesn't know what to do, which is very important. They've humanized him. He has problems. Ultimately, because I don't want to get so at the end of the movie, people's main gripe. Do you have a problem with him killing Zod? Like with the snap of the neck.
That's a great question. You need to be very careful, because it's a very big move to do. If you really, really are smart, you could sell that. Basically, 99 times out of 10, Superman can't. Because this is the thing. For Superman to end up killing, it has to be below the last thing that he does. Mm-hmm. Because the beauty of character and these characters is there are things they do, there are things that they just don't do. This is what they do and this is what they don't do. And they all have rules and paradigms. So I just don't think that it's felt as if Snyder just wanted Superman to kill. Rather, you're putting him in such a difficult situation that he couldn't do anything else. Because again, bro, you know that you could just you're pretty strong, bro. You could just grab a dude and just fly away and just grab him away.
He tried. Remember, they took the fight to space first. Because there's a part, there's a part in the movie where they start fighting, and Zod is not able to adapt to the human surroundings. But as they keep fighting, he's getting better and better. And he actually flat out says it. I was trained to be a warrior. Where did you train? On a farm? Zod had the upper hand. Superman was stronger, but in terms of skill, raw skill, this dude is a bona fide fighter. According to the continuity of the movie, this was Superman's first week being Superman. He's not winning that fight, and so he finally gets him in this position in the chokehold, and he's about to kill the family. Because I can understand forcing it, maybe, but I never had a problem with it because Zod was never going to stop, and they had destroyed so much more of the city already.
See, here's personally speaking, because I've never been a big Superman fan. I'm more of a Spider-Man, Batman fan. So that was not my biggest issue. Now, I understand for Superman fans how that was a big issue for Superman fans. But for me, that was never that big an issue. But I can understand the gripe that maybe Superman fans would have. But just quickly, on the point that you made of that it had a middle. You've seen Superman 1, haven't you?
Yeah.
Character development. And see, this is a film thing. You see, the stuff that there is a thing that they say in film, showing, not telling. Mm-hmm. The issue with Man of Steel was there was a lot of telling, not showing. So yes, you can have scenes where voiceovers from Jor-El, voiceovers from Park Kent, but what Richard Donner did with Man 1 is, okay, this is him being a reporter. This is him, because you need also that kind of slow, mundane kind of things just to help you ease in to the character. Because basically, the film didn't breathe. There's a thing of where in a script your film just breathes. Where okay, all right, let's just settle down. Let's just chill. Let's just find out who this character is about. Let's find out what it's about. Let's have some back and forth so we are getting an idea of what it's about. Then you can then hit the key points, because in like a story you have like plot points. So this is a key point, key points. And they say like there may be like 3 or 4 acts in a story. So you have like the beginning, then you have a point where the character has like a dilemma. Mm-hmm. And after that dilemma, then you then have the kind of key decision that he has to make towards the end. So they're like 3 points or 4 points in the movie. But between those points, there's got to be some breathing room and there's got to be some meat on the bone that just gives you something. My issue with it was, yes, there were all of these voiceovers and so forth, but it's almost as if now we now have to sort of fill in all the blanks as to what those voiceovers mean, instead of you giving us a bit more meat to the story. That's is what I felt, that there really was to be a middle, because the film didn't breathe. But I digress.
I disagree with that, because with Man of Steel, he starts from Well, from birth, you see a little bit of him as a young person, and it ends with him signing up as a reporter. So so he's not quite doing what what the Superman one. Thanks, yeah, thanks, love Bleach. He's not doing quite what they did in that Superman movie. This is it's he's going a different way because again, Zack Snyder will tell you that the 5 movies he wants to do is a Superman story, and he's said it multiple times. I've heard him. He's on record saying that he doesn't have anything against the Superman that we know in the comics, who's like upbeat and bright and whatever. But to him, he doesn't just want to put him there. He's asking, well, why should he be like that? So this entire 5 arc to him, he's like, as you go, because we'll see as we go through the movies that as you keep going, his character is being developed from movie to movie to movie, becoming what we want him to be eventually. So to leave Man of Steel, because I don't want to spend too much time on Man of Steel.
Cool.
But
Okay,
cool.
okay.
We can. So I think Man of Steel had a middle because it's showing his journey to becoming Superman as a first step. In Batman v Superman, you made the point. Why didn't he, go for Superman's second movie and Batman's introduction movies? To which, fair argument. I would have gladly wanted that. But I think that it's not necessary. Like there isn't only one way to get the job done. You can, if the central story you're trying to tell allows it, it's okay for you to do this because within the context of Batman v Superman, how much information did you need to know about who Batman is to understand the story he wanted to tell? Because the only aspect of Batman, not the only, the most important aspect of Batman's character that was essential to Batman v Superman is the fact that Batman was there during his battle against Zod and saw all the bad things that Superman and Zod were doing and now wants to stop him. But he gave that to you the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie. So from my perspective, because he's focused on these 5 movies, he's given me enough of what Batman is in that first, because other than that, what would you want from Batman's solo movie that you couldn't get later? Because at the end of the day, we all need what ties into this new movie, and he gives that to you.
No, because my thing is, Batman is a big dog. Batman is a big dog, and see, right now, Batman. For me, I still think that Spider-Man is the most popular comic book character in the world, but you'd say it's a toss-up between Spider-Man and Batman. A character that is so famous, you can't introduce him in Batman v Superman because okay, maybe I get your point in where this was just his vision. His vision is that, okay, I'm doing things alternatively. And I'm just telling, because really, maybe what you're saying, what's really this is a Justice League arc. It isn't a Superman Batman. It's just like, this is how I'm going to introduce the Justice League.
It's a Superman. I would think it's more a Superman than a Justice League, but it's fine if Justice League is second. But it's mainly a Superman story. You can see it if you just go through it. You can see it. And so to sort of continue my point with Batman v Superman, a lot of people have so much to say about this movie. It's actually quite it's crazy. I want to, before I get into it, this is to you and to all the people who don't like Batman v Superman. Let me just start by saying this. I like to think of a movie as the director and the screenwriter, whatever, but the director mainly is like the chef, and he's preparing a meal, and the meal is the movie, and the meal has different parts in the movie. And so when he's in the kitchen, he's in the studio, and then he brings it out to us, we eat it, and so we like certain parts, we don't like certain parts. Certain parts are cooked properly, certain parts are not cooked properly. And so you can, like, from a chef's perspective, we can pick a specific part out of a dish and look at it objectively to see if it was cooked properly or not. But just because it was cooked properly or not doesn't mean that people are going to like to eat it anyway. Because at the end of the day, it is subjective. Because think about the movies in recent history that have had overwhelmingly positive reviews. I think Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, just to create a Marvel DC dichotomy, specifically Endgame. People love that movie.
Yeah.
Is it perfect? Hell no. It actually has a lot of problems. So just to give you the same analogy, the Russo brothers are the chefs. They're cooking Avengers Endgame. The movie has good parts. Captain America, Mjolnir. Iron Man's arc finally ending with him sacrificing himself. The big battle with, Avengers Assemble. All good parts. What are the bad parts? The bad parts, like Peter Quill hasn't been on Earth for years. And they don't even mention that. Natasha Romanoff sacrifices herself on Vormir or wherever it was, and in the next scene, Rocket is making a joke. Like, no tonal, like they don't even care about the tone. We have to force feed a joke in here no matter what. Or Thanos. The Thanos we're fighting in Endgame isn't even the Thanos who was there in 2018. The one we have beef with, that's not even him. As like from a storytelling perspective, that's bad. We don't even have beef with this guy. He's not even the one we have the beef with. And he actually says it. I don't even know who you are. What kind? Like that's a bad villain. That's a bad villain choice. So like there are, but no one talks about it. Why? Because we perceive the good parts to be so much better than the bad parts that overall we're fine with it. And that's like my point. At the end of the day, movies have good parts and bad parts, and as long as we perceive,
real quick on that. You see, Marvel are maybe using a cheat code, and there's a cheat code that Marvel have that DC have, and it is what it is. And the cheat code is we know the characters so well. So because we know the characters so well, we are able to sort of, it's not really gloss over the bad parts. We've been on such a long journey with them, and they've gone through such great character development that when we actually go through that story of Endgame, it's of a greater impact. See, the issue with Batman v Superman is you just got here. Superman just had his introductory film, and now he's now fighting up against Batman. And Batman, we've never seen Batman. Well, this iteration of Batman, we've never seen this iteration of Wonder Woman. We've had 3, 4, 5 films of Captain America, 3, 4, 5 films of Iron Man, 2, 3, 4 films of Thor. So because there is already that introduction to these guys, it is easier for us to digest their stories in Endgame as opposed to BVS.
That's true, but that assumes that there's only one way to do it. Like before Marvel, no one would have thought to do these long movie arcs. It doesn't mean you still can't tell a sequential story. So to me, I understand the good that comes from it, but at the end of the day, it's not the only way to do it well. I am of the opinion that Snyder was doing it fine. Obviously, you're probably not of that opinion. But like my actual point with this whole meal analogy is, at the end of the day, a movie will be deemed as good if the good parts of it outweigh the bad parts. As in, if the good that he gives you, the chef, the director, if the good that he gives you is the good that you want, and it's better than the bad that you got, you'll walk away liking it. My argument is simply that Snyder's Batman v Superman has a lot of good. It's just not the good that people want. And so people end up putting that good into the bad category, making it blow up.
What is this? Please tell me, what is this good in BVS? Actually, but before we do that, let me just bring this up because I am ready to know. So, whimsical thoughts, thanks to the dub says, do you guys rate DC Anime Uni? I simply love them. So, what is DC Anime Uni?
I don't know. Is the DC animated universe? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, very good.
I mean, I've only seen one of the films. I know I've seen one that had Dark Seed in it because one of them referred to actor Andrew Brown did the voice. I need to watch more of them because people have said that's
very good. Yeah,
they said that stuff is good. So I think I've only seen one, but from what people have said is that like those films are actually narratively better than a lot of stuff that DC have got.
Go to the comment section. Every comment section is saying, why couldn't the movies be like, they should just get the people doing this to just do the movies, but they do, like, a lot of people who are doing the animated universes are part of Zack Snyder's squad. So, it's more alike than you think.
So,
you want to know the good parts of BVS.
What are the... Okay, and also you can't say the fights because that's like...
I'm not even going to say any fighting. Okay. Trust me, no fighting. So so keep an open mind, okay? I'm gonna keep an open mind. Okay, so the good that Zack Snyder presents in his Batman v Superman dish, I'll just name a few. Number one, I believe that Batman v Superman is trying to ask legitimate questions about how we as a society look at the idea of God. Okay. Now, let me break it down for you this way. you probably didn't like Lex Luthor's iteration. What's the name?
Horrible.
Jesse Eisenberg's iteration. Now, would you consider Jesse Eisenberg a bad actor? I don't think he's a bad actor.
What's it called? Social Network, where he was quality in Social Network.
So it has to do with the way they wrote the character and the script that they gave him to act it out that way.
It was
bad
casting.
Okay, that's also possible. I like from my perspective, I believe that people's general idea of Lex Luthor is, the bald old person, but I would actually argue that the Lex Luthor that people know with in terms of like the general pop media is the the bald guy who's insistent on world domination, real estate, trying to get money and whatever, which we could agree that's quite two-dimensional. All he wants is to make money. Superman's just in his way, so I have to get rid of Superman so I can be free to do my deals. That's, as far as characters go, that's pretty two-dimensional. I know there's more to him, but on the surface, that's pretty two-dimensional. It's not much to that. You just want to make money. That's it. All right? This Lex Luthor is a millennial, rich tycoon boy who has this sort of perceived internet image to the world. When we see him in the movie, because I watched the Ultimate Edition. I know you haven't, but a lot of these, like, I watched the Ultimate Edition, and you see him shooting basketball hoops with people in the company. Like, he's this sort of company cool guy, like Tesla and like all these people. And the point I'm trying to hear is that for him to be cast as a young millennial type character who has a problem with the existence of God makes sense, because the more we get more technology advanced, and the more the more you go ahead in history, the less we are willing to accept the idea of a God figure, which makes to me, that's why I never really had an issue with his casting, because Lex Luthor in this one, he's not interested in money or real estate. He's interested in the idea of God, and that God personified is Superman. And he actually says it. I know I put it on Twitter a few days ago. He actually says it in a scene where his issue, because people ask, what was Lex Luthor's issue? His issue is that he does not believe that it's possible for a God to exist, because God wasn't there to stop him when his father was abusing him. And so now Henry Cavill's Superman now appears. Now I have an actual opportunity to get revenge on this God figure. And he says it flat out. One of the best lines I've heard in a comic book movie. If God is all good, he cannot be all powerful. If God is all powerful, he cannot be all good. To me, and this is an amazing line, because what he's basically saying here is, and it goes back to like old Greek philosophers, whatever, in that if God is all powerful, why does evil exist? Is it because he cannot stop it? Then he is not all powerful. Is it because he can't stop it, but he won't stop it? Then he's not all good. And if he can't do either, then he's not God. And that's what like Lex Luthor is like. I'm here to show the world that either God doesn't exist, God is not all powerful, God is not all good, or God bends to my will. And that's how he structures the entire movie. I'm here to prove that God is not what we think he is. He's not interested in money. He's thinking like way higher. And I appreciate, like, this is just one aspect. I appreciate that Snyder, he's not going where we expect him to go. He's going like deeper. This is an actual question that like in 2021, nobody wants to talk about the idea of God existing anymore, because we're too technologically advanced. For the most richest guy in the DC world to not believe in God makes perfect sense. And for Superman, this omnipotent being, to show up, you're damn right he's going to have a problem with that, man. So, maybe you have something to say, but that's my first point. The idea of he's challenging our idea of God in our universe. Let me, if you have anything to say, then I'll go on.
Carry on.
Okay, so next, like moving on from that, now we talk about sort of Snyder has a hard-on for like Christianity, overlapping Christianity with Superman. You see, like if you go through his movie, it happens all the time. And so like, and Superman in general, even in his creation, it has a lot to do with the whole Jesus thing. Came from somewhere to earth to save us all. He sacrifices himself. The world rejects him. Like after the what happened in Man of Steel, people hate Superman. Lex Luthor, mind you, he's the one orchestrating everything. In the desert, he has his goons kill the people and use a flamethrower to burn the bodies to make it look like Superman laser visioned them. And then when they call Superman to the Senate, he gives the crippled man a chair and puts a bomb in the chair and uses lead so Superman can't see through it. Mm-hmm. When Superman's in the Senate, it blows up. Everyone is like, This dude just blew the Senate up. And meanwhile, Batman is watching, and his suspicions are now confirmed. Like, we need to stop this guy now. It's like Luthor is the one orchestrating all of this. He's doing all of this by himself, setting it up to pit these two people together. Superman is demonized by the entire community. This is one man. He's just trying to save people, like his father wanted. I'm just trying to do the right thing. And every time I do the right thing, CNN, all these news, all these articles, they're always on me. You didn't save this guy, but you didn't save this person. Do you know the black woman? I don't know if you remember. There's this black woman who gives a testament in the Senate where men choose who lives and who dies. They cut it out in the theatrical version. She was paid by Lex Luthor to lie. And Lex Luthor's goons pushed her in front of a train and killed her. She was paid. She was lying. Lex Luthor is doing all of this. It's not his greatest weapon. Isn't even the kryptonite. He doesn't even use it. It's just his brain. He's just intelligent, using these schemes to orchestrate all these things. And at the end of the day, the second good thing that I'll talk about here is at the end of the day, Superman, having been demonized by all these people, calling for his head, kill him, whatever, still sacrifices himself to save them. Which is why maybe usually when people watch it, they say, "Oh, I didn't feel anything with Superman." I did. I was like, they didn't want him anymore. He was thinking about quitting the Superman gig, but he still, and that's what, like, when people say, "Oh, the movie has no hope" or whatever, that's the hope we're talking about. That's the message, because they think Superman doesn't stand for the good things. To me, what better representation of hope and like true love for your world is when they hate you and you still give everything to save them. Is it not in the movie? It is. Do people not see it? Maybe. So I'm going to leave it there because we got to get to Justice League. But these are just two examples of the good things that Snyder offers. But if you're not like me, who likes these good things, you're not going to take it.
No. My thing is that, okay, even the things that you presented, this is very much a case of interpretation. And you saying, okay, this is a good point and so forth. But see, for me, I always say you always have to start with the discipline of making a good film. You have to understand the discipline of making a good film and understand the structure of what a good film is. And again, it goes back to my whole thing of showing, not telling. So even if you present Lex Luthor in this way and he's saying interesting things and you're trying to create a different, interesting, much more millennial and a younger Lex Luthor, first of all, forget about the casting. It's just the pacing of the film, going from scene to scene, and just the general structure of the story. You're not really telling a compelling enough story. So, because the key things that you have to sell the idea of the ending. So, by the time Superman sacrificed himself, I was like, did I really feel? You've got to end that ending. Was that ending ends? Because I didn't feel like if I saw a development of the Superman character, I didn't feel like if the film did a good enough job in representing a compelling Lex Luthor, because you viewed it in a sense of, okay, well, this is an interesting younger millennial person who's against gods and so forth. But I just think that in another way, you can view that as very whiny, pretty childish. The comedy and stuff doesn't really land, and it can be very jarring because, again, it goes back to the whole thing of me with him killing Superman. If you're going to do something so drastically different from such a well-established character that people have known for decades and decades, that is a very particular kind of character, that's a much older man, a much older, smarter man, and you're going to do something so extremely an extreme 180 of what he is, you've got to really do it right. And I think the issue that people had was, okay, art is art, and you have a different artistic take on this character, but you've got to hit it right. And I just think that
because, and you didn't see the Ultimate Edition. I know you don't care, but like when you talk about pacing problems, the theatrical version has pacing problems. I agree. The Ultimate Edition, it's not perfect pacing, but some of the problems that I've heard people complain about with the theatrical version, it's fixed because the studio literally just took out whatever pieces they want. I'm okay. We just take this out 30 minutes across the entire movie. That's going to cause pacing issues, in my opinion. But I do understand your point. At the end of the day,
you're convincing one dude.
I think you should watch it. You should make
for me, it's
live watch.
This is the thing, because I remember like some people, because I was watching Collider, And
those people, they hate. Like, we haven't even talked about the critics, what the critics did to this movie.
you don't know, because they slated and they destroyed the BVS, but then people who watched the Ultimate Edition said, "Oh my gosh, I love the Ultimate Edition."
Yeah.
The thing why I've never even bothered with the Ultimate Edition was that my thing is that it's like
Your issues are not going to be fixed by whatever is in the Ultimate Edition. Yeah.
Basically, it's like Aliens. The Aliens original cut is a freaking damn good movie, but the special edition is a masterpiece. Blade Runner, the theatrical edition, is pretty good. Voice of is a bit weird, but it's still a damn amazing sci-fi classic. But the Ultimate edition is flipping amazing when they remove the voiceover and it looks visually better. So my thing is that, you see, just coming from my point of view, if a film is so bad and a new edition or an ultimate edition cannot make it good.
That's true, yeah. If you didn't like Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal, you're not like, he's not gone anywhere. The marketing is not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, you're not going to improve his performance. See,
My
thing with Jesse Eisenberg, because as I said, like, he's not a bad actor.
Yeah.
Hence why I said, like, he didn't act badly. Jesse Eisenberg, you're always going to get what he's going to get. So he's the same in Zombieland. He's the same in Social Network. So because he the way that he acts is so particular, I just would never cast that as a Lex Luthor. Because again, that is so extreme from Gene Hackman, Kevin Spacey, and so forth.
Yeah.
That, bro, that is a big swing.
Yeah.
And you've got to really get it right, because that is such a total 180 from Kevin Spacey and Gene Hackman. So
but so, basically that's just my whole argument of BVS is there's good in it, and hopefully, like, I think the two examples that I mentioned, they're in the movie, so that's that's just my whole argument here. It's about whether or not you like the good parts that they offer you, and that's subjective. A very vocal minority, like these critics, to where, like, I don't know how much validation you give to, like, these Rotten Tomato dudes and whatever, but they absolutely butchered this. They butchered this movie. And you know how, like, a lot of people who watch the Ultimate Edition, because they put the Ultimate Edition on Blu-ray, and it was like the #1 sold Blu-ray for like 5 weeks or whatever, which is the equivalent of like you making a single and it being top of the Billboard charts for like 5 weeks. That's a huge success. So like people who actually watched it, they liked it. And Rotten Tomatoes have, like, some of their people have been on record saying that they try to give positive reviews to certain people so they don't dry up the well of connections. Like, at the end of the day, people are just trying to lace their pockets. So all the time, Captain Marvel got good reviews. Wonder Woman 1984 got good reviews. Like, these people, they're not trying to be objective. They're just lacing their pockets, and they hate Zack Snyder. So, like, there's nothing, like, that's why I offered to give you my HBO Max subscription to watch it, because these critics already, they're preparing to bash the movie before it's even come out because they don't like Zack Snyder. So let's go to Justice League, okay? So to go to Justice League, I don't know how much you know about all the drama.
Oh yes, Justice League. So this is what I know, and you can fill in the blanks. So he was working on it, and then was it his daughter or his son?
His daughter.
His daughter. So obviously his daughter committed suicide.
Yep.
And then once that happened, he was like, I'm not really in the right place emotionally to finish this film.
I mean, not
but
exactly,
because Warner Brothers had already spent so much money and they had a release schedule, and because he was going to live indefinitely, they said, look, we have to release this. So we're still going to get this out. So that's why they said, let's just hire the Avengers dude to come in and finish off what he's already started, because they didn't really know how long away he was going to go. So people may say, okay, the morally right thing to do is, hey, his daughter just committed suicide. Just wait for him until it's right and then release it to respect his vision. But from the business point of view, and if you're looking from Warner's point of view, you've spent so much money on this, and you have such a massive slate of release schedules. You have to hit these specific dates, because it goes to why HBO Max have to do what they're doing this year, because they have to hit all of these release dates based on the money that they've invested and so forth. So obviously, Joss Whedon comes in. I know Joss Whedon has totally different sensibilities from Zack Snyder. I mean, if you just were to look at BVS or Man of Steel and look at Avengers and Age of Ultron, these things are incredibly different in terms of tone and so forth. So it was always going to be weird. So, and what I take issue with is, why are people taking issue with Joss Whedon? So he shouldn't have taken the job? Like
No, yeah.
if he gets offered it, it's like, bro, like, all right. I mean, am I morally wrong for taking the job because they offered it to me? So, do you think he was wrong to take the job?
Um, hey, it's a payday. So, it's
Mm,
fine. It's a payday. But to go back to sort of understand what happened, just if
mm,
people know, that's good. But for the people who don't know, as you saw, like Zack Snyder, he did Batman v Superman. They put it in the theaters. They're like, okay, cool. Justice League's next. So they go and they start shooting Justice League. And as they're shooting Justice League, the critics for BVS come out and it's like bad.
mm.
So it's bad, and Warner Brothers panic. It's like, oh shoot. Because initially they're
Oh,
like,
oh,
okay,
oh, oh,
cool.
oh. Okay, okay. So he's filming Justice League while BVS is out.
Yes, so like they
Okay,
don't they do it back to back. So right
okay,
after
okay.
he gives the people the like, so BVS is in theaters, and he now they're in London shooting Justice League, and as they're shooting, people reactions start coming in and they hate it, and so now Warner Brothers, who are trying to catch up to Marvel, which that shouldn't have been their goal to start with, because like not every Marvel movie is a home run. Like Iron Man 1 was fine, Iron Man 2 wasn't, Thor 1 was trash, Thor 2 was trash, Thor
Mm,
3 was trash.
mm.
So it's like people think like DC doesn't get to, like, Marvel didn't get home runs all the
Oh
time.
no, no, for
Some of their
sure, no,
movies
for
were
sure.
trash, but it was the whole vision is what people like were interested in.
And also as well, like people like comedy as well, and I
Right.
think
It's
the
easier.
comedy
It's
was
easier
gonna
to
pass.
appeal
Yeah.
to people when you make them laugh. So I don't know. I'm surprised. I don't know why Warner Brothers didn't give Zack Snyder the benefit of, because imagine if they made Iron Man 2 and then it didn't do well and they're like, oh cool, well let's rewrite everything. No,
Oh, oh,
like
wait,
stay
wait,
with
wait.
the vision.
Wait, Rebirth. I think yeah, your internet is going a bit funny.
Oh, am I good now?
Yeah, yeah, you're good now. You're good now. You're good now. I
Okay.
think.
So yeah, so they did the reviews come in and they're bad. Warner Brothers now they hire Jeff Johns.
Oh
Now
wait,
Jeff
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Johns,
It's gone again. Maybe if you come out and come back in, like you're sort of like, because you sound like a robot. Because you sort of stop and start, stop and start, stop and start.
okay. So I should just leave and come
Yeah,
back
yeah,
in.
yeah. Leave it and come back in. Leave and come back in. All right, I think yeah, Rebirth is gonna leave and come back in, man. Leave and come back in. What are you guys saying, man? Um, oops, sorry. Says Ragnarok. DC is at its best when they do films like. Yes, yes. Okay.
Is it any better?
Aha. Because I think it's better. It's better now. Okay, go for it.
Okay. So they hired Jeff Johns, and still,
Actually, yeah, it's still a bit. It's still a bit laggy. I don't know why it's laggy. Okay, wait. Try turning off your camera and see whether it's still laggy. Or just make sure that you shut down all the windows and all of the tabs and make sure that any other programs are sort of shut down. Oh wait, oh yeah, you're on mute. Wait. You're muted. You're muted.
okay. I had Premiere Pro open in the background. Is this any better?
Maybe it will improve. Just keep talking. Maybe it will slowly improve.
Sorry about that. Huh, that's weird. But anyway, so they hired Jeff Johns, and Jeff Johns, he's a famous DC writer, writing Green Lantern, Darkest Night, Blackest Night, and so like he's a well-known DC person. Jeff Johns, he's a big guy. But Jeff Johns he's not pro Snyder. He doesn't like Snyder really, and he was more interested in pushing certain storylines. Because the thing with marketing is, if Jeff Johns writes a comic book, is it still bad?
Yeah. It's still maybe come out, shut down like Chrome and everything, shut down the window and everything, and then come back. Maybe if you just shut down the windows, refresh the whole thing, clear your cache, and then come back in, and then maybe it will
All right.
that refresh will help.
Sorry.
That's cool. It's cool. All right. Yeah, yeah. I just think he's gonna try and work out his brick nets, man. Um, says HH, don't disrespect my boy Affleck. Amazing in Good Will Hunting, Gone, Baby Gone. Ben Affleck is an awful actor, but a pretty good director and a pretty good writer. So in Good Will Hunting, that was all about case. The real good actors in that was Matt Damon and Casey Affleck, and of course Robin Williams. Gone Girl, the lady that acted opposite him was really the shine. He's not a very good actor. And in Gone Baby Gone, that's Casey Affleck. So his strength is directing. That's what I give him. His strength is directing, but beyond that, nah. Go,
If it doesn't work now, I don't know.
better, much better. So I think this is much better. Yeah.
Okay. So Jeff Johns, his main focus is to, like, if he writes a comic book and that comic book is adapted, he gets more money. And so like he was more focused on how do I increase, my money. And Warner Brothers started saying like, no, put jokes into it. We want to make it funny. We want to make it brighter. No more, like Zack Snyder said, oh, Superman is dead, which means when he comes back, he has to wear the black suit. And this is from Zack Snyder himself. And Warner Brothers like, no, don't use the black suit. To which every comic person will tell you, the black suit isn't anything to do with dark. It's just science. Black absorbs sunlight more, and so he wears black so he can heal because he's weak. Like it's got nothing to do with being dark. It's just the science of it. But they're like, no, we don't want it anymore. Make it funny, make it light. And so he's having all these like because he's just trying to shoot, and the executives and the suits, they come in to check on the movie and they're like, oh no, change this or change that, change this, change that. So his daughter commits suicide. Unfortunately, she commits suicide. And most people, it's still debated. There are people who say that Warner Brothers just wanted to fire him and they used the daughter's suicide as a mask to just get him out of there, because obviously they were having creative differences, but he wasn't going to step away. So when his daughter committed suicide and he had to step away, he would have come back. He would absolutely have come back, because one of the best ways to cope is to just pour yourself into your work. He was absolutely going to come back. This is like Justice League, but they basically fired him and they brought in Joss Whedon, who was like he was in Jeff Johns' pocket, and he rewrote like 80% of the movie. All the bad stuff that we see is Joss Whedon, and we got the Frankenstein monster that we got. And so Justice League was originally supposed to be 2 movies. Now, people might not like to hear this, but the last time a big budget movie ended with the heroes losing, or like with the loss, was I think one of the Star Wars movies back then. I've forgotten the specific one where they lose at the end. I've forgotten the exact one.
Wait, what, you mean one of the original? Oh, Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah, I think that's the one where at the end they kind of lose.
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. In our current timeline, the next time that happened was Infinity War. Zack Snyder was technically gonna beat them to it. He was gonna beat them to that. The whole time travel part 1, part 2. He was gonna do it before they did. I mean, because now it's gonna look like DC's ripping off Marvel. But the dude was gonna do that already. But because they interfered and they messed up everything up. So anyway, my point here with the whole Justice League fiasco, because I'm sure you know about the Ray Fisher stuff. And and to me, I was very disappointed to see people like Jody come at Ray Fisher, because I'm like, Gal Gadot has come out to say that Joss Whedon was inappropriate with her, and she said when he did those things, she went up the chain of command and they dealt with it. A black man does the same thing and they just shut him up. And I see people like Jody, you're black. I would think that you would, like, because he believes Gal Gadot. Why wouldn't you believe Ray Fisher?
But I told you, Jody is my guy.
I know.
Guy and so forth and everything. But it's just one of those things, because I think like he is, because he knows Patty Jenkins and Thingy personally. So but
so like I get it. Yeah.
It's one of those things. Like, I still love the guy, but I mean,
I have to let it slide. But I mean, I'm like, I was hoping that you would stand by your black brother, because he has more to lose. He's got nothing to gain. Now, if the longer he does this, the less work he gets. He's got nothing to gain from this. But anyway, ultimately, now Justice League comes out, it's a bomb. So now DC they fired Jeff Johns. So John's gone. He's not doing it anymore. Now new people are in. Now DC doesn't know what they're gonna do. They're trying to hope that Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson can like kick it off and get into the proper direction, which I think is movie is gonna be good. I think that movie is gonna be really, really
apart
good.
From the suits.
Yeah. So it's just like the rest of the DC, they're just all over the place. Aquaman, Wonder Woman 1984, bad. Shazam, they're all passable. There's nothing really, really going on in the DCU anymore. So now the Snyder fans, we know that Zack Snyder shot 4 hours of content, because he was on record saying it, that he shot for 2 movies. What he did was, because the studio wanted him to shoot it with funny scenes and all those things, he ended up doing shooting what the studio wanted and also shooting what he wanted at the same time. Which is, and this is not just me saying it. The man has been on record saying it himself, that he shot what the studio wanted and he shot what he wanted at the same time. The studio wanted the blue suit, he wanted the black suit. So he gave Henry Cavill a blue suit that can be changed in post-production. Like, so it's like he had a vision that eventually one day we're going to find a way for people to see what I really, really want. And so I know you see all the hashtags release the Snyder Cut, and a lot of people are like, oh, go away, whatever. All I'm going to say to you is it's not for you because you didn't want it. Like, you're not even going to pay to see it.
Okay, but okay, I'll be fair here. And this is where I will maybe sort of turn. As I said again, I don't care for it. I don't want to watch it and so forth. But from a film, just as a film lover and a guy who used to make films, acting films and everything, respect the artist's vision. Yeah. Whatever the vision is, respect. Let somebody make his film. Whether it's good or it's bad, he was making a film. He had a vision. Let him see it through.
Yeah.
So, and I think that is the fairest thing you can do because Justice League can't work because you can't have two artists work on a piece of art. It doesn't make any sense because art is extremely subjective.
Yeah.
So Joss Whedon would look up and be like, no, bro, I just don't agree with any of this stuff. If you're hiring me, I'm going to pretty much change as much stuff as I can. If I'm putting my name to this, I have to put as much of what I am about this, which is very different from Zack. So in that sense, I'm like, okay.
Let's check out let's see what he got.
But then my issue comes to this is that is it going to change anything apart from just appeasing people who are fans of BVS? Because the reality is, okay, look at it from Warner Brothers' point of view.
Or BVS, not Warner Brothers though. AT&T. Warner Brothers doesn't want this. Yeah.
No. Okay, but from AT&T's or their point of view is that look, BVS was heavily panned. It is what it is. It was heavily panned, and it didn't make. Because did it even crack $1 billion?
No, it didn't crack. How many movies crack $1 billion though? It made like 800 and something,
Rebirth.
which is
no Rebirth. A film with Batman and Superman should make $2 billion.
No.
These are two of the biggest characters in the world, and you're having a film with both of them in the same film, minimum $1 billion.
No, and again, people like we already actually, you know what? I think I can agree with you on that. It should have grossed $1 billion, but it wasn't a box office bomb. It made like 800 and something. No. Yeah. How could it? It's Batman and Superman. Yeah.
See, even if you just say Batman v Superman, everybody's gonna watch it first weekend because it's Batman and Superman in the same film. But my thing about this is that it just showed you how they felt because you say that Batman and Superman are in a film, it has to make at least $1 billion.
Although, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, go.
Yeah, although one of the aspects that were it's like the name of certain trademarks is able to draw a crowd, but it's also the climax of stories that does it. As an Endgame is not big just because there's Captain America. No, it's the fact that this is where it all ends. And so for like you're basically asking. It's almost like you were asking Zack Snyder to make $1 billion out of Iron Man 2. It's just Iron Man 2. I mean, sure, Batman. I mean, certain different characters are in it, but it's not. You're not even close to the climax of the story. So Batman v Superman is not the climax. That's the second step. Now, Justice League, I can understand that. Justice League 2, because Justice League 1 is Steppenwolf. Justice League 2 is Darkseid. So if you're asking those, because those are the climaxes, if you're saying those should be the ones to gross $1 billion, I understand. But for Batman v Superman, I mean, it's literally the second movie. You're asking a lot. It's nowhere near the climax of the arc he's trying to tell.
But you see, again, this is the issue. This is the very first time I'm hearing of this arc. So think about the general audience. You see, we are guys who are a little bit in the know. We are guys who are on the forums, are going to say, what about the regular person who is a casual film goer?
Well, the regular.
See, for them, they're like, okay, man, I'm still, Superman, Batman v Superman. So it's very confusing. You see, for Marvel, it made sense because they're like, okay, Iron Man, okay, Captain America, okay, Iron Man 2, yeah, team up. Okay, boom, 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 team up, boom. And as you're doing with each film, it's building up to something with this end credit scene. So for the regular viewer, it makes sense. For the regular viewer, they're like, okay, Superman is finally back. This is a new Superman. Then he fights Batman. But what about Superman's sequel? Because like you've only just introduced. Because remember, by the time you got to Avengers 1, you had 2 Iron Man films, and I think you had 2 Captain America films.
No, you had one Captain America film.
Yeah. So you had 1 Captain America film, and you had 2 Iron Man films.
Yeah, and I think 2 Thor or something, or either 1 or 2 Thors.
It might have been
1 Thor.
1 Thor. It might have been 1 Thor. So
Yeah,
and really, as much as
Garden. Okay,
it's really Iron Man. Iron Man is really, because I said this is really his arc. Iron Man is really the main character. So you had 2 films of your main character, and at least 1 film introducing the other 2. BVS, 1 film. Okay, you say it's about basically.
I think it's still about Superman. Yeah, that's to me. That's Superman. The sequel to Man of Steel is Batman v Superman. It's just not called Superman 2. No, because who do you think is the main character of BVS? It's not Batman. It's Superman.
You see, okay, this is the confusing thing. When you watch that film, I'm confused because okay, put it this way. When I walked away from watching that film, I was like, okay, this is Justice League. So this is like an introduction to Justice League. Then when I think about it again, then it's like, okay, no, this is Justice League, but then it's like Doomsday. Then when I watch it again, then it's okay, so maybe this is you're doing too many things because Doomsday is a particular story.
And oh, by the way, I know you don't know, you probably don't know this. The Doomsday that they fight in BVS isn't the Doomsday, it's a Doomsday. So like Zack Snyder has come out to say that the Doomsday that Lex Luthor creates is his blood combining with General Zod's body. So like their Doomsdays can be created. But the Doomsday that we know in the comics is like there's one particular Doomsday that we're talking about, the Doomsday. Mm-hmm. He's still out there. Like that's not maybe you still don't like that because you would have preferred that they used Doomsday. But this is just a Doomsday. It's not the Doomsday.
That's what it's confusing because for me, I thought that was many. This is one of Superman's. I think Superman's best villain is Doomsday because I've never been a fan of Lex Luthor. But for someone so iconic, because again, like I remember like reading that Death of Superman comic. That is such an amazing comic and such an amazing story. I was like, you cannot waste that character in this. But even if you say that it is a Doomsday, just by calling him Doomsday, by putting that in there, it confuses people because you're like, oh shit, so is this just Doomsday then? But obviously it makes sense because he was sort of created. So let's sort of round this off before we could move to sort of X-Men. So when this is eventually released, what do you expect from it and what kind of impact do you think it will have? Or do you think this is just a thing of satisfaction, or do you think this will actually make somewhat of an impact? Because he's pretty much making like the film from scratch.
I mean, he's not.
I heard they were investing a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money because like VFX and stuff like that. But he did additional photography. He came out and said it's only 2 minutes extra, like 2 to 3 minutes extra. Everything else he shot initially but there's a lot of like it costs a lot to do the whole VFX and scoring and also advertising. The advertising is gonna there's a lot of finances that goes into advertising. But you made a point a second ago about the money. And because you said that people don't know that it's a climax because to them they're just watching. The company will know because the company will talk with Zack Snyder. So like the company knows that this is just step 2 of a 5-step arc. So I think that it's like if step 2 doesn't gain $1 billion, you shouldn't chicken out already. You should let the vision play out. But to your question, what impact do I think Zack Snyder's Justice League will make? I think that this movie is important for every moviegoer because the reason why the critics hate Zack Snyder and Zack Snyder's Justice League is because this movie proves that studios shouldn't listen to critics and like bloggers and these like journalists. You should listen to the fans because remember these critics were like they're the forefront. Before you would ask them, they would like bring screenings of the journalists to the movie set to watch like a test screening. I've forgotten what it's called. There's a technical phrase where you bring a selected amount of people to view the movie so that they can get an idea.
Test screening.
Test screening. And and you don't get like normal fans. You go for these like critics who run these Forbes and the Wrap and Deadline and like all these top article like places. You get them to do so, and quite frankly, they weren't they weren't honest with their depiction, because as you can see, people people didn't agree with some of the things with some of the comments that they made. They didn't, and so Zack Snyder's Justice League is proof that studios shouldn't listen. Oh shoot! Someone's knocking on my door.
Okay, cool.
Give you 1 second.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there's someone just knocked on the door. Look, all I'm saying is this, man, is that, look, man, Justice League, I mean, I get what Rebirth is saying in terms of, you should allow a guy to have his vision and so forth. But for me, my thing is like, fundamentally, as a film, it's problematic. Fundamentally, as a film, that's problematic. So that makes sense. I was confused about that. It doesn't look like the Doomsday. I mean, it looks like trash and it looks like PS4 graphics, but it's confusing because if you call him Doomsday, you're like, okay, wait, is this the real Doomsday? Is this not the real Doomsday? So the stuff is wild, man. Oh yeah, it's no joke. Shortest build to ever come to Mr. Olympia and shake Lou Ferrigno's hand is Wolverine. Look up Google images and tell me with your hair chains that's not Wolverine. We'll get to Wolverine because we'll get to X-Men because if you look at young Jack Nicholson, when Jack Nicholson was young, because Jack Nicholson was in this film called Wolf, Jack Nicholson would have made an amazing Wolverine. And I've always said that homeboy Hugh Jackman isn't it, man. You back?
Yes. Sorry about that. Cool. So anyway, to me, that's just a general point I'm trying to make, that this movie proves that studios shouldn't listen to these bloggers and gatekeepers. They can listen to the fans, and the fans will be the one to tell you. There's this statistic that came out that Zack Snyder's Justice League is the most talked about movie to have never been. Like, the amount of discourse that has happened online, and this movie has not even hit. So from the perspective of the studios, for the amount of money that you're going to get, because one of the free advertising is a big deal because they spend a lot of money on advertising to show people that the movie exists. When fans are talking about it on their own, that's free advertising. For this movie to be the most talked about movie and is never even come out, that's a lot of money. That shows there's a lot of people who are interested in this thing. Now, I know some people are talking about it positively and other people are talking about it negatively, but the only bad publicity is no publicity. From their perspective, as long as people are talking about it, that's good. The internet is going to explode when this hits. Trust me, it's going to explode, and people are going to be surprised because Zack Snyder has 4 hours. Like, if Zack Snyder can't tell a good story in 4 hours,
the film is 4 hours long.
Yes, they haven't decided on how they're going to do it, but it's either 1 hour, 4 episodes, 1 hour each, or one gigantic 4 hour movie. He's like flat out, it's a 4 hour movie. If he can't tell a proper story in 4 hours, then I'm gonna just have to be like, all right, cool, I agree with you. It's 4 hours long, 4 hours of Justice League content. If you can't do it in 4 hours, you can't do it, period. But I think people are gonna be surprised. So look out, Zack Snyder's Justice League is going, and after the positive reception I think it's gonna get, they're gonna bring all the dudes back. I know you're gonna hate it, but Ben Affleck, there's already rumors that HBO wants like an HBO series because now everything is streaming. Everything is switching to streaming. They want a Batman and Deathstroke series.
Okay, so you're backing that when Justice League drops, it will have such an overwhelmingly positive reception that they're gonna want Snyder on board to carry the DCEU, because
yes,
they're two separate things. Because it gets murky then, because obviously there's this whole thing with Michael Keaton in the Flash film, in the Flash movie, and there was like a rumor that Michael Keaton would be the DCEU Batman.
Yeah, that was debunked. The person who broke the news, he took it back and said he just meant that one Flash movie.
The one from
Michael Keaton is 70. He's almost 70. He can't, he's too old. He can't do it. But I will say that they gave Zack Snyder like 60 million. You don't give a dude 60 million for one movie. Like, that's a lot of money to invest for one movie. Joker cost 25 million or something. And they didn't.
60 million isn't really a lot if you're making like a big, especially if it's like a superhero movie. 60 million ain't that much, man.
for a movie that they didn't initially want. But anyway, my whole point is, I think people should go in with an open mind. If you're on the fence about Zack Snyder, Don't listen to the critics, because the critics already like they're not. Watch it yourself. Like that's all I'll say. Hit me up. I'll share my HBO subscription. I'll share it with you just to watch, because the critics are they do like this. Their jobs are on the line, because the more companies want to go directly to the fans, the less they'll want to talk to
No, look,
them.
as I said again, I am bloody curious. Like curiosity will just say, look, let me just see what this film is, and then I'll see, because I can already bet with you that I'll hate it, but we could open a mind, man. So let's talk X-Men.
Okay, sure.
So Marvel. Here's my thing, man. Endgame was Endgame. Like I was like, guys, it's over. Because let's keep it real. No one cares about Black Widow.
We don't.
No one cares about freaking Eternals. No one cares. Do you know when I was sitting in the cinema and they gave Falcon that shield? Do you know I wanted to reach into that screen and rip that shield from his hand and say, don't you dare give this... Because Rebirth, let's keep it real, man. Let's just keep it real. All because I'm black doesn't mean I should support every black hero. War Machine and Falcon are garbage. Okay? Give me Blade, give me Spawn. Spawn has always been my dude. Like Spawn has always been my guy. But really, Blade from Snyder, probably Spawn has always been my guy. War Machine and Falcon are freaking garbage heroes. So when that ended, because again, like I saw the whole Disney Plus slate, because I only subscribed to Disney Plus because of The Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. So once that ended, I was like, cool, I'll see you back in December for Boba Fett. Because when you look at the slate of Disney Plus, WandaVision,
Loki,
freaking the
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
It's garbage. It's nonsense. It's really, it's childish, it's stupid. It's nonsense. Like Marvel were lucky because you had two great cornerstones. For me, Thor was trash. Yeah. And Guardians was a nice side thing. That was a nice side thing that they stuck upon. But Chris Evans and Downey Jr., those are two great casting. Amazing casting. And those guys were like two strong bedrocks that were just flipping amazing. So once they pretty much ended and so forth, they're like, there's nowhere to go now. The only thing you have is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And well, because first for Spider-Man 3 sounds, I'm hearing like Tobey Maguire and everything and so on, crazy. Because Spider-Man is a whole different discussion, because Tom Holland is a really good Spider-Man. And what I've always said is that Andrew Garfield is the best actor to play Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Tom Holland, I just think, is the best package overall in terms of the best Spider-Man we've seen on screen was Civil War. That's Spider-Man. But we didn't
well, okay, I don't want to make it a Spider-Man to go, because I don't agree with you on the Spider-Man side. But go ahead.
Okay. So no, because I don't know Spider-Man. But the main thing is X-Men. Now, let me say this right now. Huge X-Men fan.
Yeah.
Massive X-Men fan, and I think reading X-Men comics, very much a fan of the X-Men cartoon and so forth, but just the concept of X-Men, I just think it's bloody amazing, and it's very advanced in terms of the kinds of stuff that they're talking about. I despised the X-Men films. There is not a single one of those X-Men films that I liked because Bryan Singer is a moron. The key thing about X-Men is casting, because it's an ensemble piece.
Yeah.
It's a family, and it's about family dynamics. And because these characters are so particular, you have to get the casting right. The casting of Cyclops was trash. Storm, trash. And Wolverine. See, this thing about Wolverine, Hugh Jackman is a very good actor. He's a quality actor, and he did a great job.
Yeah.
What he has, he can't replace. Oh, sorry, what he doesn't have, he can never get. Wolverine is short. That is essential. It doesn't matter what you do, what you say, it is essential. So much so, I believe Aronofsky, when he was tasked to make the Wolverine film before he pulled out, I think he wanted to make Hugh Jackman short using like the same technique they use in The Lord of the Rings. But so the casting and everything, it was all a mess. And even for me, Storm is tall. Storm is tall and graceful. Halle Berry is short and looks like a mouse. And Cyclops is the leader.
Yeah.
See, Wolverine has no leadership qualities. That is why we like him, because he's an anti-hero. He's anti-leader. He's not the boys. So Wolverine would be a horrible leader because he's so impulsive. Cyclops is the leadership guy, but they represented it as Cyclops is just the really nerdy, cool guy who's just the butt of everyone's jokes.
Right.
So the only way Marvel can say what's up in the movies is X-Men and the rebranding of X-Men and the well-cast X-Men film. That is the only way, because Spider-Man can't lead it. That's not enough. Like, Spider-Man is big, but that's not enough hits because it's Spider-Man and who else? who else? X-Men is such a dynamic concept, such a popular concept, that if you cast it right and properly well, you have, first of all, because you can have Wolverine and Wolverine's films, Storm and Storm's films. Cyclops is tricky, but those are really the main guys. I think Wolverine and Storm are the guys who can really branch out into individual things, because like Storm can combine with Black Panther, and Wolverine has a crazy weapon extra that he can do.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, who you get to direct these films, and the name just came to mind. Name just came to mind. Is it Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah. I didn't know
Because
who
when you
that
look at Hellboy, specifically Hellboy 2,
Okay.
I feel he will understand the logistics of an X-Men and understand how to cast it well, and he would understand just how to present that. So, because for me, Bryan Singer doesn't get it. The guy's just no. But Guillermo del Toro, because Guillermo del Toro is the best because he understands the comic book world, but he's a very good filmmaker as well. So it's not like a comic book merchant. He understands the comic world, but when you look at Pan's Labyrinth, he's a very good filmmaker technically. Mm-hmm. So for you, do you think the MCU's future hinges on X-Men, or do you think that's how much do you think X-Men hinges on MCU still managing to say what's up?
Yeah. To me, I actually disagree. I actually think that the MCU's future hinges on the Fantastic Four. I actually think that the next phase boom, that's right there. Yeah. The next phase's big bad guy should be Doctor Doom. I think that's the guy they need.
But Rebirth, let's keep it real.
He's not big enough?
No. Which has more heat?
X-Men
Fantastic
does.
Four or X-Men?
I think X-Men has more heat, but like to me, I'm trying to find, because the special thing, because with the cornerstones, because I think Thanos was just as important as Captain America and
for sure. No, the hero is really as good as the villain.
Right. So I think Doctor Doom is such a dude is, as far as villainy goes, comic wise, Doctor Doom is really, really good. He could pose a really, really strong threat for them to go up against. But I do understand X-Men, they can't keep George Miller. That's a nice pick. They can't keep X-Men on the shelves anymore. They need to do something with X-Men. It's been a long time. It's a gold mine waiting to happen, but they need to do it right.
But do they have the rights back from Sony? Because I know that Sony obviously had the rights to X-Men, hence why they couldn't have them in the MCU. I
don't think so. I think they got, but I think that's why they're actually focusing more on Fantastic Four, because that's what they got. I'm not sure. I would have to fact check on that. I'm not too sure about X-Men. I know they have Fantastic Four, which is why I think they're more, because I think the Fantastic Four movie has been greenlit. I think the Spider John Watts is gonna direct that one.
Oh, also sorry, real quick. Shout out to Mr. Daniel Jones Ortega. His girlfriend said I should give her a shout out. So shout out to Carlotta. It is Carlotta's birthday today. Daniel Jones Ortega's girlfriend. Shout out to Carlotta. Have a happy birthday, man. Continue. Go for it.
Yeah. So to me, I think that I don't know whether or not they have the rights of X-Men, but I do know that they got Fantastic Four, and John Watts, the Spider-Man Homecoming director, is the one who's set to direct that one. If they can reignite Fantastic Four, they can go somewhere. But overall, MCU is they're in a bit of a pickle, I would say. Not really, but right now, Kevin Feige has to rebuild everything from the ground up.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So the X-Men are finally coming home. Disney's $71 billion acquisition of 20th Century Fox
Okay,
means,
Fox is the
among other
one that
things, that Marvel now own the rights to the characters from the X-Men, as well
okay.
as the Fantastic Four. Yes, because remember, Fantastic Four was under Fox as well.
Okay.
So
Now they
Fantastic
got it.
Four, I think, yeah, okay.
Okay. So yeah, so I probably just focus on, well, I still think because of because I don't know, do you I was never a huge X-Men person. I don't know that they have the equivalent of a Doctor Doom, because right now we're really looking for a villain. We want the, like, who's going to be the next phase's villain. You got Doctor Doom. Do you want to go like really really big with Galactus and those cats? Because it'll be very difficult.
Because really for X-Men, obviously you have, because they've already done it before, which is, oh gosh, what was the name of that dude? Apocalypse.
Okay, right. Okay,
But
see, you could do that.
but they,
Yeah.
but they already did him already, and they messed him up. I think it was it in Days of Future.
Right. Yeah.
Basically, they already did this before in the yeah. Well, you can do him again
You
because
can do
that's
them
a really
again.
good.
It's a new, yeah. We're rebooting it.
And my thing about this is that the most interesting kind of villain thing you can do is Magneto.
Oh, shoot, I forgot. Okay, Magneto would be like, that's good
Yeah.
enough. I think that's good enough. But they'll probably focus on Spider-Man as well. I like, again, I find it really interesting that DC announced that they were doing the multiverse, and now all of a sudden, Ken Feige and co. all of a sudden want to do multiverse with Into the Spider-Verse with Spider-Man, which, like, again, I'm just like, can y'all just do your own thing? Like, it's always, and the worst thing is they're gonna beat DC to it, because Flash is not like, is 2022 or something. Spider-Man is gonna arrive before that, even though technically this was DC's idea, but I don't think that's not important at the end of the day. Just make a good movie, I guess.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man is probably they're probably interested in using Spider-Man because that's probably the biggest name they have right now.
Oh,
Is Spider-Man. Yeah.
My thing is, Spider-Man is a big boy name, and he can see. This is the thing, though, is that Spider-Man can't lead an Avengers.
Well,
You see, he's not. Spider-Man is not a leader. He's a great character. Like Captain America is a leader. Iron Man is a leader. Cyclops is a leader. Spider-Man is a character. Wolverine is a character. So if you're making Spider-Man the face of Avengers and he's the leader, he's guy making the decisions. But specifically, remember, this is a very young Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's very
So how
young.
does that work? How do you make a young Spider-Man who's still dealing with school or high school stuff the
You
leader
don't.
of?
I don't think so. Unless,
You know?
yeah, I don't know. No, nah, I don't think it'll work. So that's why I'm interested to see what Kevin Feige does. I'm genuinely interested because it's like, where do you go? Who becomes the cornerstone? Who becomes the leader? Are you gonna are you gonna create a Cyclops who becomes the new leader of the Avengers? Is that what you're gonna try to do? Because at the end of the day, they're gonna keep doing Avengers movies. So it's quite interesting. But I don't have too much to say on that. It's not my area of expertise. But to me, the bottom line is, I think that Doctor Doom, Magneto are probably their best bets to get a big villain enough to like generate that level of interest.
See, and my thing about it is that, because as I said again, like, okay, so what were your views on the X-Men films then? The Bryan Singer X-Men films?
I like the guy who played Magneto. Wait, no, which one is that one? Is that the more recent ones or the Hugh Jackman's first ones?
No. Basically, all of them. Like which
okay.
which ones did you like? So basically, this is like the Bryan Singer ones, First Class, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. I don't like. Logan was the only Wolverine one that I really enjoyed. Really,
Makes sense.
the first Avengers was decent, nothing special. The second, it's passable. Second was passable. Third was passable. The one where they did the reboot, the only nice thing I liked about the rebooted one was the guy who played Magneto. I've forgotten his name.
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, dude, that guy can act. I feel like dude can act. Other than that, I didn't like anything. Dark Phoenix, I think is what they called it. That was bad. So I don't know. They don't know what they're doing.
And that's the crazy thing, is that, do you know how amazing that storyline is? Because that's one of the biggest ones in X-Men, and they just botched it. Because basically I just think, like, look, you see, I think because I was never a fan of Fantastic Four, and it just never, like, it's a cool concept, and obviously the whole thing of they're a family and they've got really cool stuff and everything. And Doctor Doom is a very cool looking villain.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four never spoke to me because I think X-Men is the themes that they touch upon and thematically where they can go. But the key thing is, bro, Wolverine, man. Like
People
Wolverine
like it.
is such an amazing character. But the problem is this though, which is why they fucked up because Wolverine has claws. So Wolverine is a violent character, which is pretty much what they did in Logan.
They had to
You
make it
know,
rated R.
yeah, you have to make like a guy with claws can't exist in a Disney film.
Yeah.
But
How do you
X-Men,
nicely claw someone? It's gonna be
yeah,
bloody. Like
yeah.
it's
So,
gonna
so
be
if he
bloody.
does that underneath, all you just see is air. So it's stupid. So the issue is that it's almost my issue with like Star Wars, how Star Wars is screwed because they're under the Disney banner, and my issue with the Mandalorian was that Mandalorian was like it was shortchanged because he basically he pretty much became pussy whipped by the freaking small green dude
Oh,
because it's
yeah,
freaking
Baby
Disney.
Yoda.
Yeah, God.
I haven't seen it, but I think like for example, I think Fantastic Four has the opportunity because you need certain characters. If you go Fantastic Four, you get a good villain in Doctor Doom. You get the rich, proud-ish guy in Reed Richards, who like now that Tony Stark is gone, that's a good shout.
Yeah, okay.
Reed Richards could really stand in for the whole Tony Stark thing. The only thing you like is who's going to lead it. Cyclops, X-Men has the leader. Fantastic Four has the rich guy. So I guess you can do both. If you do both once, I guess you can pick it from there because Spider-Man can't do it. He can't do it. Doctor Strange, no. If T'Challa was still around, maybe, but he can't do it. I'm not going to accept Falcon as the leader or Winter Soldier. He's not fit either. Like they're lacking. They're really lacking. Who's gonna and Hulk? They butchered this dude.
No, but, and I think that's because trust me, if it was down to Marvel, they would have held on to because it was Danny Jr. that said, "Bro, I'm done."
I'm done. Yeah.
Because Marvel knew that, bro. Like, what do we do? Like, if you're gone, what do we? But he said, "No, you have to kill me because I want to just end this." Because now it's like, which is why they are focusing so much on Disney Plus because they're like, we have no idea to go into the movie space.
Yeah.
So maybe so this is what they might do is. Do you think? Let me throw this. Do you think that they will sort of cool off on films because you look at how well HBO Max has done based on the numbers that Wonder Woman had? Do you think they will cool off on films and just do everything on Disney Plus and even do like an X-Men series on Disney Plus?
Yeah, I think Hollywood has changed. Streaming is the future.
Yes.
So either like when it comes to human history changing, you either adapt or you get left behind. So I know was it Christopher Nolan was crying about Tenet and whatever. I was like, I'm sorry, man. Like streaming was always the future. So I think that everyone is switching to streaming, which is kind of like why Zack Snyder is really lucky that HBO Max happened when it did, because they would they're not. It's the only reason why they want this is the movie's already made. People want it. Let's just put it on a streaming service. It's low cost compared to a movie. So he's really lucky that HBO Max is there. But like with Disney, you can tell that they don't have any big enough names to draw enough people to the movies. If it's not Spider-Man, I'll go and see a Doctor Strange movie. I don't really care, especially after what happened to Chadwick. I don't really want to go see a Black Panther-ish type movie. Who do you really don't have anybody right now. So, which is why it's like this is a perfect time for them to focus on the streaming. But at the same time, I don't know. They do have Thor. Thor is popular. His movies are not good, but he's popular.
Mates, no. Chris Hemsworth was trash Thor, and that's just a little tidbit there. Do you realize how? Because again, like one of my good friends, he's like a massive Thor fan. Do you know how amazing of a character Thor is? That is an amazing character because even when you watch Gladiator like that, you can make an amazing character. And for me, it's a combination of the first Thor film was trash, but even if it was trash, look at Loki.
Yeah,
people still champion his performance. If you had a guy that had a good performance, because there's this guy, what's it called? Skarsgård, Alexander Skarsgård. He would have made it a great Thor. Like if you just had a really good quality actor, then he can do something with Thor. But Chris Hemsworth is so dry and so boring. It was like, bro, the
only way they were able to make him interesting was to make him funny. Like to me, when a film goes the route of humor, means that you're not able to hack
Yeah,
it
yes,
normal.
yes,
You know,
yes,
I'm
yes.
not
You
because
failed.
because
You failed.
because they tried it 2 times and it wasn't working. But
Mm.
he's good with humor, and you know, people like to laugh, which is it's a cheap way to get on
Cheap,
people's good
cheap.
sides to just do jokes. But Thor, like Thor is Norse mythology. People like mythology. Like in general, people love mythology.
Oh, it's great
Thor is
stories.
like Norse mythology. You could do so much. This like he's a warrior. It's kind of like what Patty Jenkins did with Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is a warrior. These like they fight, and yet they're depicted in such a, you know. And in Endgame, I know why they made him fat. They made him fat because, you know, like, you know, I know I said at the beginning of the show, the Thanos we fight in the Endgame is not the Thanos that they fought in Infinity War. In Infinity War, after he went to go get his power boost in anime terms, after he goes to get his buff, he came back. He overpowered all 5 Infinity Stones, and, you know, with Stormbreaker. If that Thor dropped in Endgame, he doesn't need anybody. Just him alone, he could have taken Thanos easy. So they nerfed him by making him fat. Like, it wasn't even. So, like, I knew what they were doing. They just like they had to find a way to nerf him because he was too powerful at that point. So I don't know what. And now they're gonna do Love and Thunder and give his powers to his girlfriend. I'm like, oh nah.
No. Okay, look, I'm done. I'm done.
Nah.
So
But that's what I think.
let's switch now to some anime, man.
All right.
Let's switch to some anime. So look, can I just first start by saying that Attack on Titan makes no sense?
Nah.
I just want to just put that out there. Like, you see, let me, because again, I don't want to talk about too much about it, but let me just, because I've not watched the latest episode yet, but my thing on Attack on Titan is that I have to pretty much read the manga, because what's it called? I'm actually currently reading I even put the stuff here. Naruto. I'm on. So what is this? This is
volume.
I'm on 10, 11, 12.
Oh damn.
So
Okay,
I've
so
read
you've
these
been
three.
okay.
I'm on 10, 11, 12, and it's bloody good. Really funny. So I'm gonna finish 10, 11, 12 tonight. Easy, no, just But my thing about it, Attack on Titan is like great concept that I just don't. They went a different direction from where I think that they could have gone,
Really?
and that was my issue with it, you know, because I'm like, because you see, my thing was, wow, how do these regular dudes fight these huge giants? So it's sort of like the whole degree of difficulty kind of thing. Like, man, how do they really fight these things? But then once they now became Titans, I was like, okay, well, it's like a freaking cheat code, man. You've basically lost the kind of juice to the whole thing of like, how do these regular guys fight these huge things? But obviously, I know it gets complex and so forth.
Yeah.
And bro, past, future, present,
Right.
school. I'm like, what the heck is going on? But look,
I love Hajime Isayama's Attack on Titan. This by the time he's done with this, it's probably going to end up top 5, top 8 manga anime series of all time. That's how good it is. And I do agree with you. The degree of difficulty initially, because there were so many things they had to work with. Their gear is not unlimited gas. You have to work. You can't use it if there's no trees or buildings. You're outnumbered. Like there's so many degrees. But to me, it's fine because they had been suffering for so long. For them to finally have a break where at least they got like one person, like we start with Anna, one person who can actually fight back. I think that's fine. But eventually he was always going to, because I don't know how you felt about the plot point, the realization that Titans are actually humans, big reveal. Like to me, I was like, that blew my mind. I was like, that's good. I think that's good. The revelation, because you're up to season 4, right? So there's no spoilers or anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, basically, I haven't watched the latest episode.
Okay, but you watched season 1 through 4.
Yeah.
So to me, the revelation that not only is humans are alive, they're living on the other side of the ocean. Big like thumbs up. The idea that, you know, the king who was within the walls actually erected the walls of his own volition. So to me, like, I don't like the issues that you're saying. I don't share them.
Wait, guys, by the way, it is what it is. Well, spoilers. If you've not watched Attack on Titan, it is what it is. We are spoiling Attack on Titan. It is what it is. Look, okay, we're freaking spoiling it. So spoiler, unless spoilers are okay.
Yeah.
See, my thing is about this is that because like, so. Okay, so who can turn into Titans? Because my thing in season 4 is who are these dudes that we're seeing?
So
And what happened to the dudes that we've been with for the first 3 seasons? Like that's
right.
annoying blonde kid that's
Mhm.
with Aaron who just fucked everything up.
Yeah. So at the end of season 3, they find out that the people are on the other side of the ocean, and there's a time skip. I've forgotten the actual number, but like significant, not significant. Like time has passed between the end of season 3 and the beginning of season 4, and now the author is now switching to what is going on the other side with the He calls them the Marlians. So now we're watching at what they're doing. We find out that they're in a war. They have control of the Titans, and the Eldians are the names that are given to the people we know, that the Aaron and Co. Those guys, they're called, the race that they are is called Eldians, and
Elden, yeah.
Eldians are like they're what's the word you use, like segregated. They're segregated
Oh,
in that
okay, yeah.
area, and so now we know about Reiner, the armored Titan. He's now showing us like what the entire story has been from their perspective. Him as a kid becoming a Titan because
So
he
okay,
wants to
okay.
get his
So
family.
so Reiner is an Eldian.
Yeah, Reiner is an Eldian.
So and Eldians can become Titans
Yeah, Eldians have the blood of
to
Ymir,
become.
for the founding, yeah, in
Okay,
their
okay. So what's
veins.
it called? So Aaron was an
Mhm.
Eldian.
Yeah, Aaron, all the main characters we know, they're Eldians. If you were
Okay.
on the island, yeah, you're an Eldian as well. And so
Okay.
now he's just telling the story of what's his name, Reiner, as in,
Mm,
like, because he was young when he went
mm.
there, and then they broke down the walls, and then they went inside.
So
He's just telling
okay.
all the
So
story from their perspective.
so at the very beginning, when you see those massive Titans to begin with, so those were Eldians who
Yes,
became Titans.
yes, and were sent to go and kill their other Eldian people on the
So
island.
okay, so when they do so they're conscious of what they are doing, or they're
Yes.
not conscious of what they're doing. So they're
No,
conscious of
they
what they're
they
doing.
know what they're doing. It's just that
Okay.
it's like that's why I love Attack on Titan, because it shows that the like human beings are the ones who write history, and the
Mm,
history you teach to people is what they'll learn. It's like
mm,
for over there they were taught that their ancestors were demons who did all these bad things, and that's why we hate you. That's why we treat you this way. If
mm,
you want to get your family out of this segregation, you need to pledge your allegiance to the nation and
mm,
give your life and give everything so that your family can leave this bad place. And then they get these little kids, they teach them these things, they believe it, and now they've been brainwashed to believe that the only way they can save their family and their people is to destroy everybody on that side. And so,
mm,
like,
mm.
they know what they're doing. They 100% know what they're doing. They just believe that that's what they should do.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's what season 4 is. He's showing you what, like, Reiner was thinking all the while.
Mm, mm, mm.
But as you'll find out in the latest episode, Aaron, dude,
Wait,
dude, dude,
wait, wait. I'll watch it.
dude
So
went crazy.
look, so best anime films, man. So this was going to be a discussion. I'm sure you're going to say stuff that you've seen or not seen, but let's just start with this.
Mhm.
We have to start with Akira. Obviously you've obviously seen Akira.
I have not. I have not. I have heard the legends of Akira. I just don't like. It's just I have not seen it, but I've heard of how good it is. I just haven't seen it. So to me, that's why I wanted to postpone this, because before I came here, I would have watched it before I came in. That and Ninja Scroll, because like I've seen a lot of anime. It's just unfortunate that I haven't seen those two.
We have to do, you know what? Because what's it called? Because one of my friends, because we have to do an Akira watch,
Mhm.
and also have to do like a Ninja Scroll watch as well,
Yeah.
because those are two supreme classics. But before I even talk about Akira or Ninja Scroll, like which would you say are like the best anime films that you've seen? Which anime films would you put down there?
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't seen like within the anime community, because like within the comic book community,
Mm,
series is not what's glorified. The manga is kind of like the comics are kind of growth. Within the anime community, is the series is what most people
mm,
watch. So most
mm.
people watch the shows, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece. So movies are like, because we don't get them here in the United States unless it's like
Okay,
really,
yeah,
really
yeah, yeah, yeah,
popular.
yeah, yeah,
Like in Japan, they get like a lot of
yeah.
movies. So um I've only seen the movies of, like, so I watch a series, and if the series has a movie, I watch the movie.
Okay.
So
Actually,
there are
okay.
very few original movies that I've seen.
So let me flip it because we'll say who gives a fuck about the freaking title, man?
Mhm.
Best, because okay, we'll flip this because the best anime show, TV show, because this I've said this right now, and I'm gonna search now. I'm currently watching Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
I've watched the first 5 episodes of Hunter x Hunter.
All right.
I've
Ooh.
watched the first episode of My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
I've watched Death Note.
Ooh. Okay.
I've watched what's that one with the dude where they hunt down ghosts.
Bleach.
No.
Not that one. The other one. There's
Yeah,
another
like
one.
basically it's like him. Oh gosh, what it is? They basically okay. Do you know the creator of One Punch Man? And he
Yeah.
did this
Oh,
other
Mob
series,
Psycho.
Mob Psycho. So yeah, I've seen Mob Psycho. So those are the ones that
Mob
I've
Psycho's
seen.
good.
One Punch Man
Oh,
is a masterpiece.
that was a masterpiece.
And the thing about One Punch Man is, see for me, see, because I was like, okay, guys, okay, anime shows, guys, recommend me something. Everyone's like, no, Death Note, Death Note, Death Note, Death Note.
Yeah, it's
So I
always a
watched.
good one.
See, Death Note is like two things. The first half, amazing. Second half, not so much.
I never finished that second half. Like if for me, if I don't like it, I'll stop. I don't want to force myself through it.
No. I'm one of
After
those
L
guys, no.
died, I was out. I was like, I'm
see,
not about to watch it anymore.
Unless it's like really, really bad, then no. But because I was like, okay, I'm not really enjoying this, but I just have to finish this. Unless it's really bad, let me just finish this. But yeah, after that first half, I was like, that first half, oh no, this is amazing because
That's amazing.
the dynamism between these two characters and so forth. But the thing with this is that there's so much text involved in it.
Oh, you read it, or did you watch it?
Subtitles.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. The subtitles. Okay.
yeah. It's just that there's so much subtitles to look at. It's quite hard. So for me, I think hence why after I'm done with Naruto, I'll probably read the manga and get the manga of the Death Note because I'll be able to grasp the story a lot better doing that.
Yeah, it's a skill that you develop as you go. I like if anybody in the chat or if you've been a long time anime fan, you learn to read fast and then look at the pictures. Read fast and then look at the screen.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
because I watch a lot of foreign films. So I watch like a lot
Okay.
of like Japanese film cinema, Korean cinema. So I'm used to reading
Subtitles
subtitles
and-
and stuff like that as well. And also like what's it called? Even when I was young, like because I watched so when I used to live in Geneva, we used to watch the Japanese Dragon Ball Z
Okay.
before the English
For
dub.
the English. Okay.
And the Japanese one is very different from the English dub.
It is.
But for me, like
think
One
it's
Punch
better.
Man, no, One Punch Man for me is amazing because because one of my good friends is Japanese, and he's freaking crazy, And we went to because he obviously invited us to Japan, and Japan is freaking
I want to go there so bad.
bro, man. I tell you, man, like
They're so advanced. It's crazy.
no. Basically, whatever you think Japan is, it's crazier when you get there.
Yeah.
Because especially when you go to Tokyo or Shibuya, because the toys that these guys have, just the toys, the stuff, it's just insane, man. But yeah, they have a very interesting sense of humor. Like the English sense of humor is very dry, which
Yeah.
can be good, but sometimes very weird. But the Japanese sense of humor is hilarious, and the humor in One Punch Man is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I know that I can easily watch again and again and again. And I think that what I like about it is that I like things that are different,
Okay.
because if you think about it, it's like, what's the name of the blonde character in One Punch Man? Like
Genos.
see,
You mean the cyborg?
Genos
Genos. Yeah.
is your standard anime
Main character.
So they flip it because your boy Saitama, he's so not what you'd expect from a main character. And that's so basically the hook is that he's so powerful and he's so strong, but he does not realize how strong he is. And he's just sort of psychologically on another plane. And that's mixed with just how good the animation is, how amazing the fight scenes are. For me, I just feel like, oh, this is just like an amazing series, because it's like, it's really good, like quality comedy.
One Punch, like for me, because I'm active in the anime community, they're always like, you always keep an eye on what's on the horizon, what's the next big thing on the horizon. In 2000, One Punch Man came out in 2015. When Attack on Titan dropped in 2013, exploded. We're like, this is the next big thing. When One Punch Man dropped in 2015, like, we had not seen anything like this. The animation studio was Studio Madhouse. Madhouse is the one who did Death Note. Dudes that, like, they know what they're doing. One Punch Man is so special because it takes like generally people are really drawn to stories that show growth, where you start from nothing and you work your way to the top. Hajime no Ippo, Naruto, starting out as and it's not a spoiler to say that one day he has to reach the top.
Yeah.
But then One Punch Man is like, well, for the first episode, he sucks, but then it skips, and now he's the pinnacle. He's literally the strongest there is. And now, once you get there, now you can start to explore, well, what is it like when you reach the top and you're literally the strongest? Now you see he's unhappy, he's dead, he doesn't feel any emotion and things like that. Which is like nobody was thinking. The last show that I can remember doing this is a show called Rurouni Kenshin. I don't know if you've ever seen. It's like a guy with long hair and he has a cross-shaped scar on his cheek. That's the last time I've seen a show that has tried to go the route where like you're really, really strong. And even that, it's not quite the same because they nerf him. Like you have to find a way to nerf him. But in One Punch Man, Saitama is not nerfed. The dude is literally the strongest. And it's surprising to me that we still find a way to enjoy shows that have the main character as the strongest, because you feel like people are not going to really enjoy that, but we do. That's Rurouni Kenshin. That's the last show that I feel, because he's the strongest there was. It's just that he's been nerfed right now, because before he would kill anybody, but now he has a no killing rule, and that limits how strong he is. But other than that, he should be stronger than everybody, even though he's not. But that's the closest you'll come to One Punch Man. But I think like One Punch Man is special. It's just unfortunate that Madhouse couldn't do season 2, because season 2 is trash. Like it's trash. I don't like it.
The thing about season 2 is that it's not as good as season 1. Because I remember before I watched season 2, guys said, "Oh my gosh, season 2 is so bad. Like it's not so good and so far." I was like, "Oh shit, is it going to mess up?" I see. Do you know what it was? This is what it was. If I'd watched it live, I would have been more disappointed with season 2 based on how good season 1 was. But because guys told me that my season 2 is so bad, I came in with very low expectations.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh jeez, it's not as bad as people said it was," because I came with like, "Oh, this is going to be like horrible. It's going to be a mess." I was like, "Okay, it's nowhere near as good as season 1." But there were still a lot of really good laughs, and they still maintained the character of Saitama. And they just, as season 1 is just, hits everything on the right notes.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. And I know you also saw Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter is legendary. That show, as far as I'm concerned, when we talk anime, Hunter x Hunter sits at the top. The author of Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter, Togashi Yoshihiro, man sits, and I know my authors and the names. I know all that stuff. Like this show.
Wait, have you ever played any of the Final Fantasy games?
Yeah, I played I played 15. I didn't play the once before because when I was in Ghana, I didn't have the gear to do so. But ever since I came to the United States, I played 15 and I played the 7 remastered. So
because see, I get a very Final Fantasy vibe from Hunter x Hunter, because obviously don't tell me what it is, but it just seems as if this is just like these 3 guys and just sort of like their journey all the way through hunting the monster stuff and everything. So I'm like, okay, just that there's so many episodes, I just have to find a period of time just to sit and just like knock them all out.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter is tier 1, I would say. Like because I have an anime page of my own. I probably like your whole tier system. I haven't done it yet, but I intend to do that. Hunter x Hunter is probably tier 1. That's how good it is. It's really, really good. So
so what's this about Bleach?
Because that's my name, Bleach. So there's a term in the anime community called the Big 3, or the Holy Shonen Trinity, and it's a name that's given to the top 3 anime that define the era. So 2 generations ago, you had Slam Dunk, you had Yu Yu Hakusho, you had Dragon Ball, and then generations later, you had One Piece, you had Naruto, you had Bleach. And so it's sort of some people argue that the Big 3 is only specific to one era, but I don't think it is, because like they're like every era has the 3 shows that are like the cornerstones, because the volume you're reading, it's a magazine, it's a Shonen Jump magazine, so they put the stories in there. And so like with anything, kind of like the Captain America stuff we were having, you need like these shows that are so popular that keep people coming to buy, because they'll buy the whole thing just to read those specific manga. And then as they're reading, then you can show, oh, here's something new, and then you can showcase new stuff. But you need those like heavy hitters to draw them to buy the whole magazine, and that's what these shows are. They're the highest selling, most popular of the era. One Piece, everybody knows. I think, yeah, this guy right here, everybody knows One Piece. Everybody knows Naruto. Bleach is sort of the adopted child. I mean, it's my favorite, but to the anime community, it's the adopted child. It's my personal favorite in all the
So without sort of spoiling the story or anything, if you could just say that, trying to sell Bleach to me, what about it makes it so good?
Okay, so the special thing about Bleach, and if anybody has actually watched or read Bleach, you'll know, is especially during the time that Naruto, because One Piece came out in 1997, I think, and then Naruto came out in 99, and then Bleach came out in 2001. During the time where these shows were coming out, they all had a certain aesthetic. They, like, after seeing the success of Dragon Ball, everybody really wanted to adopt that whole cheerful, upbeat, innocent main character who's kind of weak at the start and slowly grows and grows and grows into sort of maturity. And when they all get their anime, they were put on like what's it called? I forgot on the channel. Shoot, the channel beats me. But there's this popular channel on the West that they get put into, which is for kids. Bleach, of all of them, is the most mature. Mature as in you can't put it on a kids channel because he's dealing with monsters and spirits and death and afterlife. So you don't put that on a kids channel.
So is it more action, comedy, drama?
This is more, it's more supernatural. It's more they deal in much more complicated themes, I would say. It's not straightforward. I like it, and I know it's not straightforward because to this day, some of the things that people say, it just tells me that you didn't get it. It's comedic. It's not as funny as One Piece. It's adventure, but it's not as adventurous as One Piece. You don't just go. It's not like Hunter x Hunter where you're going exploring. No, there's a more stagnant setting to where like we're not just going into the unknown. We're just dealing with these specific characters, but they explore aspects of death because like he's a Shinigami. He's a god of death. Their job is to transport souls from the human world to the afterlife. So we're talking about themes of death. These creatures that are created and born from the grief of people who had resentment left in life. And so you start dealing with these Japanese Shintoism and whatever, like it's with their whole culture.
So it's basically like samurai warriors and stuff and everything with their samurai swords.
Yes. So basically, each sword you see has its own unique ability, but yeah, basically samurai war. And then it gets a little bit more like there are twists and turns in there. But if anybody's interested, like if you liked One Piece, if you like Naruto, you'll like Bleach, quite frankly. Like these were the three, like these three are what blew anime up, like legitimately like blew it up. It's these three that did it. So
you see, okay, so just even back, because again, without spoiling, it's just for me selling you on Akira and Ninja Scroll, which are for me, I think, two great things. I think the thing about Akira is you have to, when you watch it, keep in mind when it was made. And the thing is that this was made in the 80s. And I think most people have said like the manga in Akira is better because in the manga you sort of get a much fuller story. But the technical achievements in Akira is ridiculous because what they are able to achieve in 2D in terms of the technicalities of the animation, in terms of the lighting, in terms of the environment, in terms of the aura is insane. Hence why there's still animes that has come after Akira that still hasn't really matched up to just how good it was, because it was like, yes, it's a cartoon, but it feels like a film. And that's always been my beef with Pixar, because I hate Pixar. I flipping despise. I've never liked a Pixar film in my life, and it's because in the West they treat cartoons as it's only for kids, but in Japan, Japan's film industry is their anime industry.
Yeah,
because like I think ever since Kurosawa died and so forth, Japan never really sort of carried on the film heritage. That was pretty much taken upon by South Korea, who now make amazing films. But really, their film industry is like their anime industry because they treat their anime like very serious.
Yeah.
Hence why they go into much more serious things, which is why, but in the West, like because even from wait, do you know Warhammer 40K?
Sorry?
Have you heard of Warhammer 40,000?
No.
Okay. Well, it's basically it's like this kind of war space marine. I'm sure guys in live chat will know Warhammer 40K. If you're able to do that via a cartoon, which is like war guys that basically have this like crazy cool armor and it's super violent, it could be crazy, but violence and cartoons in the West is like a no-no. But in Japan, it's like, no, this is, yes, it may be a cartoon, but it's for adults.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so no, but for Akira, it's like visually, because the story is a bit crazy, but visually it is insane because it's like a film. And for Ninja Scroll is just in terms of the story, the characters, and for me, my weak spot is samurai swords. Show me a samurai sword, I'm sold.
Then
You know,
Bleach is
so-
your guy then.
See, yeah, no, look, my man, like, because like for me, I said that is the one of the best crafted weapons in history is a samurai sword.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much about a samurai, and it's about him fighting on the samurai. And see, Ninja Scroll is very, very Japanese, extreme Japanese. I think about Ninja Scroll is that see, I need to watch it again because I watched it for the first time like last week. I was like, oh fuck, this is crazy. I need to watch it again. But the fighting, the story, the characters, just how it begins, how it's progressing, and those how it ends, the character, the development. For me, I enjoyed the story
Okay.
more in Ninja Scroll than Akira, but Akira visually is one of the craziest things you've ever seen in your life.
I think you because like when it comes to because when people were telling you stuff to watch, obviously Attack on Titan and Co. I think you need to read Berserk. If
Wait, what's it called? I think. Wait, do I have the?
yeah, I know you started reading Berserk,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and the chat will like the chat knows what we're talking about when we talk Berserk. Berserk is quite frankly, people like you could tell someone Berserk is number one, and everybody would be like, yep, no, it's number one. Berserk is number one, and if you're faint of heart, don't read Berserk. If you have reservations, because Berserk is I would also say.
Wild.
Yeah, Berserk is wild. Kentaro
No.
Miura is twisted.
But you see, this is where I go to my third film. Have you heard of Fist of the North Star?
Yep.
You see,
Kenshiro. Wait, no, is that his name?
So I think Kenshiro. Have you seen the anime film?
No. See, the thing with me, even though I'm well versed in anime, I was pretty late to the party. And like in Ghana, we weren't really vibing with the anime stuff. So like I've watched a lot, but I was like, I'm working backwards.
Oh no! You see, I watched Fist of the North Star on a VHS that my brother showed me in Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
So I must have been about 6 or 7, and then obviously I don't know how he got it, but I think because I was still going to school in Nigeria, but he was going to school in England. So
Okay.
it was a few years before. So they used to bring stuff back from London for us to watch, and he had like a VHS of Fist of the North Star, and I watched it, and bro, that changed me because you see, I thought I saw violence because I used to watch Commando, Rambo, and everything. The violence I saw in Fist of the North Star shocked the living daylights out of me.
Yeah.
Because Japan just take things to the nth degree.
Yeah,
I was
very
like,
dramatic.
this is like, I mean, you're seeing guys get cut open, ripped apart, a finger. It was just the most shocking thing before. So, in terms of just impact, is Fist of the North Star, man. But
Yeah, probably what Berserk did to me is probably what Fist of the North Star did to you. Because Berserk almost scarred me for life. That's how, but again, it's still an amazing story. It's an amazing story. And, I see in the comments, the Fate series, like I wouldn't recommend Fate to you because I don't know if like it goes into a certain aspect, but like Fate Zero is good. Fate Stay Night, that's like Unlimited Blade Works. Those are all good shows. Full Metal Alchemist, I think you need to give that a shot.
so is that a film or a series?
No, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is a series. They have movies because like anime, in anime the series is canon and they make a movie, but the movie's not actually canon. Unless you're talking about some newer stuff where sometimes it's actually canon material.
No. Because like on Netflix, I keep on seeing it.
Yeah, bro, watch it. Yeah, the comment section they'll tell you. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is peak anime. There was a poll that came out in Japan a few weeks ago of the most impactful anime to them, and they did a huge Poll. Full Metal Alchemist is number 1. Number 2 is One Piece. Number 3 is Gintama, and then you come to everybody else. But Full Metal Alchemist is legitimate. Yeah.
So guys, we're going to be rounding off soon. So guys, send in any questions for us. Send in any questions for us. Send in any questions. Send the questions and like the video, subscribe. Like the video, subscribe.
Yeah.
See, my thing about this is
and before we end, I'll just interject one thing. So this I'm just going to tell people what my like, for those who know, my top 10 favorite. This is my favorite, not critically, just favorite. So it's not a critical.
So this is from 10 to 1 then.
10 to 1, yeah.
Okay.
So this is not my favorite. I mean, sorry, this is not because it's better than the others. Just my favorite. Number 10 is Nisekoi. Okay, people in the chat might know what Nisekoi is. This is, it's not battles. It's not fighting. It's just a romance comedic story. Number 9 is Inuyasha. People will know what Inuyasha is. That's a great series right there. Number 8 is Naruto. You're reading Naruto. Naruto is only number 8 on my list. And once you read it, you'll see some of the issues that I have with it. You'll see it, but it's still a go-to series. Number 7 is Magi. Now, if you ever feel like you have a spot where you don't know what to watch, you should definitely watch Magi. It's one of the best series I've ever read. It's absolutely amazing. Number 6 is Kuroko no Basket. Now, I like sports. I like basketball, I like football. When anime does basketball, like there's a show where anime does basketball. It's called Kuroko no Basket. If you ever feel an itch to watch a basketball anime, you should definitely try Kuroko no Basket. Number 5 is One Piece. You can't make a top 10 without adding One Piece.
This whole One Piece.
My God, he just hit 1,000 chapters last week. This man has been writing since 1999, for 20 years, and these authors, like, they work so much. They sleep like 5 hours a week in their studio for 20 years. That's a long time. So like, you know, One Piece is amazing. Number 4 is Rurouni Kenshin, the one I showed you. The guy who made One Piece, he was apprenticed to the guy who wrote Rurouni Kenshin. That was his sort of sensei. So, you know, just goes to show you how legendary. Number 3 is Dragon Ball. We can't talk about anime without talking Dragon Ball. But I'm not talking about Dragon Ball Z. I'm talking about the original Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball Z, they start going crazy with it, power levels and blowing up planet. Dragon Ball is where Toriyama actually shows the whole sort of martial arts grounded in adventure, and he doesn't go crazy with it.
Okay, quick thing. This has always been my bone of contention with Dragon Ball, and I'm glad that I can speak to someone black about this. Your honest take on Mr. Popo.
It's there are many characters. There are many characters who that happens to. That is, like, I feel like I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, because to him, he probably just looks like, oh, you know, what do black people look like in the West, and in the West, that's what they were doing, and so he puts it in. Because other than the way he looks, he doesn't really do anything that's black. It's just his character design. But yeah, that's a racist character design. But I know the Japanese, they're not like that. Like, they don't think like that. To them, it's you know, they're very progressive. They don't really care about that kind of stuff, really. But yeah, especially the lips and the hands, it's bad. Number two is Gintama. You will hear a lot of stuff about. I think if you're looking for laughs, you just want to laugh, Gintama is the show. And then for number 1 is Bleach. I'm not, you know, Bleach is that's just my go-to show. So that's where. So you know, probably take the questions now. Okay. That's my top 10 right there.
Thoughts on Dragon Ball as a whole?
I think that Dragon Ball is a legendary series. Dragon Ball is what inspired most. Like, if you cite any show that came after the 1980s, they'll tell you that they were inspired by Dragon Ball. So you have to give Toriyama that credit. The whole aura, power ups, like, he's the guy who came up with it. Like, he's the dude who came up. It wasn't being done before. So you have to give Dragon Ball credit. But let's not pretend it's like some overly deep thing. It's deep in some ways, but look, you just want Dragon Ball, when he was a kid, that one has more depth. In Dragon Ball Z, it's more like, hey, let's just fight. So, you know, that's
no. I said on Dragon Ball Z, for me, I think that is the most impactful anime globally. was
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z, because that is
absolutely.
what really made the West say, "Oh shit, what the hell is this?"
Yeah,
Because I mean, just the concepts they were dealing with
yeah,
is too much for kids, and nothing in the West even came close
yeah. And the way they
psychologically to
beat
what they
up
were
kids
doing.
in that, like in the West, you never see them use the villain to like beat down the kids, but the Japanese women and children, they don't care. Go ahead, they don't care about that stuff. You know,
Um, Adrian, have you watched any Studio Ghibli films? If you haven't, you don't talk anime movies or anime in general.
Studio
So
Ghibli.
I've
I feel
seen
like I know what that is.
I've seen Spirited Away.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, those
I've
ones.
seen Princess Mononoke. I think I've seen Howl's Moving Castle. I'm not sure, and I've seen his very very first film, and I think I've seen my neighbor Totoro. Um,
I haven't seen any
we haven't seen. You see, no
because
Spirits.
I deal in series more than movies.
Yeah, I mean, look, Spirited Away is very good though, but not as good as Akira or Ninja Scroll or Face of the North Star.
Yeah,
Because for me, I think Spirited Away, like I can admire it and I appreciate it. Even same thing with Princess Mononoke. No, like the music. Oh my gosh, the music in the films is outstanding. Like the music in Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke is outstanding. But for me, I just think based on my vibe, Ninja Scroll and Akira Face of the North Star is a lot more on my vibe, man. So,
yeah.
um,
By the way, people keep asking. I have seen Code Geass. That's
what is
it's
Code
not one of my
Geass?
favorite, but technically that's probably top 10. Sure, probably top 10.
So I think this is maybe for you. Are you looking forward to the return of Bleach this year?
Yes. So you probably don't know, but Bleach being one of the big three, it's very popular. In 2012, the anime ended, and it's been 2012. It's been it's been a really really long time. We've been waiting for it to get its due ending because there's like a 200 to 200 and something chapter arc that was never animated, and last year it got greenlit to return. So like for you, if you if you just pull up a Bleach AMV just to look at it, I'm sure you like it's good. So I'm very excited for Bleach. I think it's gonna win Anime of the Year when it comes out. It's gonna win Anime of the Year.
Um, who should play the main characters in One Punch Man in a film if you had to make one and would direct? See, now this is my thing.
I don't
You
want
can't
to.
make a film of One Punch Man.
Yeah, leave it.
Like, you see, it's same thing with Akira. Basically, when you watch Akira, you will see because they've been trying for so many times to try and
To make
make
a live
a
action.
film of Akira, and you see, especially with anime, because anime is so mad creatively that it's impossible. Like that Dragon Ball film was horrendous. It was awful. Like absolutely, it was a piece of shit because you can't make a film of Dragon Ball Z.
Can't.
It's too mad. Like it's like with the fireballs when he now goes to his creators. It's too crazy because it is built mainly for 2D and animation. And I think for One Punch Man is like the beauty of it is the medium that it's in. If you make that real, you lose the magic because the magic is that it's 2D, is that it seems a little bit kind of like drawn and so forth, and also
Yeah.
you can't do those fight scenes. Like there is no way you can depict those fight scenes in
You know
for
the
real because
you know who I would get to direct though? The closest we have ever come to a Dragon Ball fight scene is Superman versus Zod in Man of Steel. Maybe get Zack Snyder and we can talk. Maybe because I don't think anybody because that fight Superman versus Zod is the closest we've ever gotten
true,
to
true,
a Dragon
true.
Ball fight. So maybe get Zack Snyder and we'll talk.
Um, so Elizabeth, do you think that Bleach gets a different ending in the anime?
I think that it does. I think that it does because Kubo, like there are rumors that he plans to flesh out certain things in the show, and he's been working really closely with the studio. So yes, you're probably going to see some changes. I think you're going to see some changes. The overall, like he's not going to massively change the ending. It's because I don't want to spoil anybody. How he defeats him is going to be the way he defeats him. He's just going to explain it more to make it make more sense. But yeah, I think because of the trailer they put out, that scene is included. So I don't think that's going anywhere. He's just going to execute it better, I think.
So I mean, so let me even ask you this. I mean, what do you think is the main appeal of anime, like
Anime.
specifically to non-Japanese people or people that are not in the East? Like, why do you think that it's blew up to such a large degree.
I think that it's first of all it's different. Most people are immediately drawn to something that's different, and then you find that it's very rich in style. It's rich in messages. It's like it's not one dimensional. It's only until recently that like the Western cartoons are beginning to catch up to that. Before that, it was just very dry. In this, you can really, because it's an adaptation of a manga, which to us would qualify as a graphic novel, not even a comic book, a graphic novel.
Graphic
That's
novel,
like
yeah,
one
yeah.
step up for adults. So because it's an adaptation of that, people really, really, really like we really connect to that. The music, like the Japanese, you can really feel how much effort goes into it on the part of Japanese. When you hear these voice actors, like they're in the studio booths screaming their hearts out. Like these guys are giving it their all.
Nani?
You know, like yeah, you get people like like we said, Hans Zimmer's work in Man of Steel is for them, they don't do that for the movies, but they'll do it for the anime, to where like a studio composer will pour everything he has into like the OSTs for a soundtrack, and people will pay money to sit in an auditorium just to listen to the music. They you can feel how important it is to them, and then it's sort of like and at the end of the day, good stories are good stories. It doesn't matter if it's a good story, if it's a good story. One Piece and all these are amazing stories. And yeah, for me, I used to watch Ben 10. I used to watch some of these Young Justice, Avatar gets a pass. Avatar: The Last Airbender, like that gets a pass because it's a good show.
That is quality.
Yeah, that's a good show. But yeah, to me, it was just more adult, and I loved it. I did.
You see, Avatar: Last Airbender is like the perfect marriage of East and West.
Yeah,
because it's like the kind of
bro
structured storytelling of the West and the style of the East, and just the way that, because it performed for me, I was like, oh, last time, but this still looks cheesy. But when I just watched, I was like, oh no, this is like it's something that I would generally watch again.
Yeah,
because it's like, oh no, this is actually like really damn good. And then you really go through the kinds of ups and downs of the whole thing. Because see, my one criticism of anime is that sometimes it can be too preachy. And this now comes from because it's an adaptation. Because hence why for me it's like I already know that I'm going to enjoy the Naruto manga a lot more than the Naruto anime, because I watched like the first 2 episodes of the Naruto anime and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I have no idea what's going on. This just seems too crazy to all, like, I don't know. But as soon as I just watched the manga, because see, me reading the manga, the way I envision Naruto moving, speaking, and operating is totally different from how they show him in the anime.
Yeah.
So for me, I just think like my imagination of what the character will be is just a lot more interesting and a lot better in the manga than the anime. And I just think in the manga, because it's much more fleshed out, you can get more into it,
Yeah.
But something like One Punch Man, which is less dialogue heavy,
Yeah,
and much more about the visuals and the comedy. Because I got the manga for it, and it's like, oh no, it's still pretty much the same and so forth.
To me, the manga might be better because Yusuke Murata, the artist, like if you pick up a One Punch Man manga, like because I'm sure the more you read manga, the more you start to sort of get a hierarchy in the art of different people. Like Naruto, Masashi Kishimoto, I think like if you pick up a Bleach manga, you'll notice that the Bleach character designs look better than the Naruto character designs. With One Piece, he's not really good. He's good at drawing like detailed worlds and whatever. One Punch Man's like artist. Like if you like whenever you get a chance, just type Yusuke Murata panels. Like this dude can draw. So One Punch Man is one of the few shows that works both in anime and manga. Like Yusuke Murata manga panels. Like, bro, this dude is amazing. This dude is amazing.
No, I mean like, oh shit.
Yeah, Promised Neverland is a good anime. That's a really good anime.
Wait, let me bring this up now, man.
So is Hajime no Ippo. Yeah, best sports manga, sports anime of all time. Yeah. Yeah, well, look at that.
Yeah,
look at that. That's a lot of detail. That's a lot of detail. And there are more. You can just like there are so much more. Yeah, I'm sure they remember that scene from the anime. When
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
being
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, look, that looks so good.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's wow, man. Yeah, no, this you see that's see for me is because even for me, like as whenever like I'm just sort of like wilding away time, I just sort of sketch
What
and
the heck,
stuff.
bro?
So like I just which is why for me like I love like comic book art, man.
Look at that. That's crazy. I mean, one of like that lady, she's grown, like she's a grown woman, but she has the body of a minor. You know, in Japan, the age of consent is different from over here, so that's where it starts to get a little bit dangerous. A little bit because like she's technically a grown woman, but she's got the body of a small girl, and that's where it kind of gets dangerous. You got to be careful. You got to be careful with those. But look, yeah, those legs are looking interesting. Okay.
Oh no no, it's you see for me it's like I mean because I think because I was reading stuff on One Punch Man season 3, and they said that I think it's because of the COVID,
Mhm.
it was sort of pushed back and so forth. But like, see, now that is what I'm really looking forward to is
Yeah.
that season 3 because like I say because season 2 was like that, but I think that's my main thing, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Um, but so what sort of big and this is what I'm going to say, then we can run off. So if you were to recommend an anime that's action packed, samurai with samurai swords, and I've already seen Afro Samurai.
With samurai swords and action packed.
So action packed samurai swords.
I would probably say Fate Zero because I want to say Demon Slayer. I want to say like Kimetsu no Yaiba, but
See, I told you. Oh yeah, Demon Slayer.
yeah, I don't think
Great,
it's really
great
good.
first 2 episodes. It got freaking stupid
Yeah.
afterwards. It just got stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'll probably the safe bet is Fate Zero. Fate Zero is probably the safe bet because it was produced because I know you've seen Demon Slayer. It was
Yeah.
produced. The anime was made by the same people who made Demon Slayer. So I know you see how good the animation looks and the
Oh yeah. Oh, the animation
fluidity.
is
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah. Fate Zero, I'll probably So I think if you want a safe bet with swords and shields and all these larger than life, I would probably say Fate Zero is your best bet. I think. Yeah, yeah. Fate Zero is probably your best bet. The general synopsis without spoiling is they're the shoot. What's it called? The little cup that Dave. Um there's a cup like in some Indiana Jones movie. It's
Oh,
even
Holy Grail.
the Holy Grail. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every so many years, like certain individuals are able to summon servants from history, actual fighters in history who existed, and you summon them into the present world to fight master and servant to who gets the Holy Grail. And the person who wins the Holy Grail gets any wish granted. And so that's just the basic synopsis. So you get certain characters who actually existed in history. The one you can see right there, she's the one who's supposed to represent Arthur, but she's a female because they made it a female. You'll see Gilgamesh, you see Alexander the Great, like all these
Okay, some of
legitimate
those things.
history characters, and then they bring them to the present, and then they pit them against each other. So I think Fate Zero is a masterpiece. Like I don't know, I won't talk about the rest, but that one you'll probably enjoy. Just try episode 1. It's 50 minutes long, like a movie, and like they tell you everything you need to know. That's the best first episode I've ever watched. Fate Zero episode.
And I
1.
think people, I'm still seeing the chat. They're saying Samurai Champloo.
Yep. Samurai Champloo, and it's also shorter, so it'll be easier with you.
So to end, so as I said again,
Yeah.
because you haven't seen these films, I definitely want to do a watch along of Akira and specifically Ninja Scroll,
Ninja Scroll.
because these are incredible films.
Yeah.
You know, and I think because even if you're into like, see, I think for me, like I'm more of a film guy than a TV guy. Now
Yeah.
I'll be getting more into TV because I think films are going on TV have really gone up. But I just think because films are much more concise, you can get a much more concise story. But I just think that like Akira is a must watch. It is like the most, because it's not just one of the best animes, it's one of the best pieces of animated things of all time.
Yeah.
In terms of just what they do technically. And Ninja Scroll is just a really fun, cool story. Just a really fun, cool story. So those are 2 things that we definitely have to watch now. So guys, peace out. Hopefully we will try and do this more and more. Rebus, tell people about your channel and so forth, so guys can check you as any anime junkies.
Yeah, so if you're interested in anime, whether it be anime reviews, I'm mainly a Bleach guy. So if you're really interested in Bleach, you should probably go around and check it out. I crossed 1,000 subscribers like a few weeks ago. It's been a slow, it's been a slow build. The grind is real. It's hard. Like this YouTube stuff I see you guys like it's harder than it looks. Like
It's hard,
really tough. But so yeah, so get like if you have a shot, just go. It's called The Flame of Rebirth is what it's called. So just go out and check it out. I also have an Instagram page. Instagram currently we're sitting at 16 point something thousand people on Instagram. So we got a lot of folks over there. Just hop in. It's a lot of fun stuff there. I'm a writer, so I write fan fiction stories and stuff. So yeah, so there's a lot of good stuff over there. So do check it out.
Actually, so let me actually even bring this up now. All right. So make sure to check this out. Flame of Rebirth.
Yeah, I actually have a Bleach AMV, like it's doing pretty well. When you get the chance, you probably watch that. If like that would probably be enough to tell you whether a Bleach is for you or not. I got an AMV on the channel. You should check that out.
What is the Flame of Rebirth?
No, for that one it's just Bleach _ Rebirth. Because for that one is a strictly Bleach page.
So for all you anime junkies out there, man, Bleach _ Rebirth.
Yeah, there I am.
All right, cool. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, cool, man. So yeah, make sure that you follow him, subscribe to his channel, and so forth, and everything. I think he definitely knows anime stuff. So hey, guys, look, man. So hopefully when we do this next week, you hopefully would have watched both Akira and the Ninja Scroll, and then you'll both be like, yeah, man, these are two freaking classic.
You get a
films,
review,
man.
yeah, my official review.
So we'll have an official review and a recap of both of those films, man. So guys, man, remember to like the video, remember to subscribe, and so for subscribe. Remember to follow Rebirth on his channel as well, and we'll see you guys next week, guys. Peace out, stay true. Peace.